monster inside of me. You better watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he goes me, and he gets caught real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored. Loves of blood and gold, always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really listen until they feel it for the party. And if you start shit, you be hard-lived in the darkness. Tore apart quick, you left scars ripped, you be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. There's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. There's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. push a mind to a limit where it needs to feed. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Stroke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello and welcome to my Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick, and are you boycotting the Super Bowl? Because guess what? I am. I ain't gonna watch that shit. I'm gonna come on here and produce my own show. It's gonna be my own super show. Maybe I give away something. We'll see. It's Sunday. It's another beautiful, hopefully it'll be a beautiful day. I know tonight we're supposed to get some snow up here. They're talking about 2 or 3 inches up in Connecticut. So that's going to be for tonight into tomorrow. Super Bowl is this Sunday. I'm definitely boycotting it. I'm not going to invest not 1 second into their propaganda commercials or entertainment as far as the event that's going to be going on, which is the Super Bowl, with the stupid halftime show with the little bad bunny. And I'm hoping for an earthquake. Who has money put down? Vote. Like, are you putting money down to bet if there's an earthquake that's going to happen during the Super Bowl? Because I guarantee you, if you bet it and you win, you will win big. I don't know. There's been a lot of activity around the area, so could it happen? Yes, it can. Will it happen? I hope. But other than that, let's see who's here. I see a lot of people writing here. Yo, what's up, Chloe, Albie, and Terry? How you guys doing tonight? Yeah, we're active early. I'm not used to you guys here so early. I wouldn't be caught dead watching the Super Bowl. I find more entertainment watching my toilet bowl. Hey, listen, I totally agree. The toilet bowl is probably you probably get more entertainment using it than you were to watching the Super Bowl. That's for damn sure. But I hope everyone's having a good night. Is the Super Bowl tonight? No. Well, I hope, because I hope it's just quiet in the Super Bowl. I hope it's. I hope people really stop watching it. That's what's the biggest problem, because people are so hooked into that television tube, and they have to watch the game, and they have to watch the commercials, and that's all programming, and they're all putting these informations in your brain. Oh, I need a new car because look, they're selling this new car. Oh, I gotta buy Doritos because there's a commercial that was funny about Doritos. Like, no. No, I see enough of those fucking companies when I go to the grocery store, when I buy food, or I see a car passing by. I'm like, okay, I already have a car. Why are you trying to push me to buy another one? Like, no. I think turning off the television would be the best thing for all of us. You know, we could put a stop to all this nonsense from the left very easily from the right. You know what we do? Turn off the television. Psh, and don't put it on at all during the Super Bowl. Don't watch any of the commercials. You're gonna see their ratings gonna go dive if every television was to be turned off. Just saying, it works, you know, and that's our power. We can do that if we get all the Republicans and all of like independents, the ones that don't believe on the left, to turn off the television. I think we'll dominate the Super Bowl ratings by having the trashiest rating Super Bowl ever of all time, especially during the halftime show. So, without further ado, let's get into the news. Because, listen, I'm boycotting it. You're hopefully boycotting it. We're going to see what's going to happen with the news with the bunny. Oh, here we go.
The Athletic talked to 58 anonymous NFL players about the halftime show, and one with, "I don't even know who Bad Bunny is," another, "I do not like it. I feel like there's tons of artists out there who are fans of the game, and I don't speak Spanish, so I'm not a big fan." All of those are quotes on your screen.
Hey,
Turning Point USA will host an alternate halftime
I'm
show.
working Sunday anyway, so I really don't
headlining.
care.
And gaining traction online, a petition
I'll be
replaces
live.
Bad Bunny with country legend George
I will
Strait.
be live.
It's getting some 127,000 signatures so far. Sage Steele, former ESPN anchor and host of the Sage Steele Show, is with me now. Good to see you. So what's your take on this and the alternative for people?
Yay! I got some medicine too, girl.
I love that there's an alternative.
I
That's
picked
what
up
America
some
is all
today.
about. And I give TPUSA a lot of credit for doing so. I think it was needed more
I'm
than
not gonna
ever.
watch the
However,
TPUSA
I
either.
believe
I
more
don't trust
people
them
will
either.
probably go ahead and watch the Super Bowl halftime
I don't
show
trust
with
that
Bad Bunny. If for
organization.
no other
I'm not
reason,
gonna
Harris,
watch it.
because a lot of times
I
people
love
hate watch
the
just
lineup.
to see how bad it's going to be.
But I'm
And
not
if you think
gonna
this was announced 4 months ago,
watch that halftime
unfortunately, he
show
made
either.
it very clear. He's like, "I'm not speaking in English, singing in English. I'm singing in Spanish. You have 4 months to learn the language." And I think that's the part,
Oh my
along
god,
with the
what a
hate and the
disaster.
talk about ICE, etc., that disturbs so many people. However,
Okay,
what we have to
not feeling
remember
well.
is
Yeah,
that
the
this
weather's
is a
not making
business
me feel
decision.
good. I feel
2
like
years
shit
ago, there were
today.
only 2 NFL games played in other countries. Last season 3, and in 2025, 5 games. All the commissioner cares about right now
Okay, cool.
is growing the game, and they want to be in more
Yeah, I'm gonna be
countries.
here
So
for the whole game.
they don't care what the players that they interviewed are saying or what the fans
I'm
are
not
saying.
watching the game.
This is about the business
We're
of
boycotting
the
it.
NFL and making it more global.
I did not know that Bad Bunny had said we had 4 months to learn how to speak a different language so that we could, okay.
Yeah, he said
Kid
that
Rock joined Fox
SNL.
and Friends today
Saturday
to
Night
talk
Live.
about TPUSA's decision
That
to
we have
do
4
the
months to
performance
learn
as an
Spanish.
alternative.
Oh, bitch, I already know Spanish. I'm Puerto Rican, and I don't like Bad Bunny.
Love
I
America.
don't like that guy.
Love football. Love Jesus, and it's pretty much that.
But I'm not
simple.
going to
And, of course,
support
the media and the haters are
TPUSA
going to try
because I
to
don't trust those
detract from it.
motherfuckers.
When I say, I think I speak for Turning Point and all the artists involved, that
Like,
none
Rick,
of us are
what's going
approaching
on?
this with any hate in our
Nah,
hearts
man.
at all. It's just a love for our base.
I don't
and
trust
love
that
for music, our
organization.
country.
So what you said is so important to know, Sage. You said that this is a business
trust
decision.
Charlie Kirk.
So are we
I
going to
didn't
see
I don't
like half
trust
the
the
games in the
organization
NFL now
that
during
did
the
him
season
dirty.
played off our soil?
I mean, that's the thing is they've done it within the same weekends. They'll have 2 or 3 games in another country, whether it's the UK or Germany or Brazil, while games are going on in America too. So they want more and more. And again, I don't like this, but I am trying to take the business perspective. And I want to point this one thing out as well, Harris, as I know you got to go here. I mean, this isn't about someone who's not American, Bad Bunny is, but it isn't about that. U2, they're from Ireland. They gave an amazing performance right after 9/11, 20-some years ago. This is about when, as an artist, you lead with hate. And that is what Bad Bunny has done from day one. When he says, I'm not going to speak your language, you have 4 months to learn it. Are you kidding me? Never be acceptable in their country. So that's the disturbing, not that he's from Puerto Rico, that he says he hates us, doesn't want to take our money, but now he's doing it.
Well, and you saw Kid
He's a
Rock there
hypocrite.
say
That's why.
that the alternative turning point,
Reminds me of
all
my
of them,
family.
they're coming
That's
from
why I
a
don't
place
like
of
his
love,
ass.
include everybody
Fucking
who wants to
hypocrite.
watch something different. Sage Steele, good to see you. Thank
Full
you.
of shit,
Outnumbered
too.
after the break.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Compagno.
Emily!
Catch me and my co-host Harris
Okay,
Faulkner
we're
and
gonna see what the alternative is for the Super Bowl. Let's see, what's the alternative here?
I mean, who gets to play at the Super Bowl? It's going to be awesome, you know, and especially, I mean, it's the 250th year birthday of our country, and I get to play with my buddies, and I'm a musician, and I get to
I
come
don't
out
like
and celebrate
USA. I'm not
music
watching
and
it.
football.
It's a
and
good lineup. I'm
all
not
the
gonna lie.
things that
Great
America's
lineup,
all based on.
but
Yeah,
that organization is
you mentioned you
very
get to play with your buddies. Halftime goes fast, Lee. Right? There's
I
you,
just
and there's
feel
stuff on the screen right now.
negative.
Kid Rock.
Very
I
negative.
mean, Brantley Gilbert. That's a lot in a short amount of time. How you guys going to do this?
It's pretty quick, you know. I mean, I got like a 7-minute section, and kids got like an 8-minute section, and like it's really so cool. We went through it all.
Me too, man.
We've talked about it.
It's
We've
the
got it all
weather.
planned out. I think it's going to be really fun, kind of a mashup of stuff.
You're gonna
Kinda,
start feeling like a
just
little
like any
shitty,
Super Bowl
like I
halftime,
am.
which is again what we get to do. This is going to be really fun.
Do you feel like, Lee,
The whole
when
body
you
hurts.
thought about
Yeah.
this, when you were asked to do
I went to
this is
the
something-
physical therapy today.
Tell me, when I ask
was not
you
fun.
why, I'm asking you why it was important to you and why not the regular halftime show?
Yeah, he's
What
a
is this
hypocrite. That's the
offering
problem with Bad
that
Bunny.
maybe you
He
won't get
reminds me of
from
my
Bad Bunny?
family. The biggest hypocrite.
Well,
He'll say
you know,
one thing and does
Bad
something
Bunny.
else.
I mean, I don't know much about him. I've heard he's won a bunch of Grammys and he's a great artist or whatever. But I didn't get asked to play the other Super Bowl, but I did get asked to do this and be a part of something that I believe in, that I've grown. I mean, and I'm like, this
This
is going to be
country
so much
music.
fun.
I like
standing up
country music.
and being a part of something that is who I am, and is
I wonder if in
Brantley
Nashville.
and Bob will
I might
Kid
go
Rock
with you.
and
I'm gonna think about it.
and Gabby. We are truly
I'd like
all
to go to
excited to be able to say
Nashville
it's
for at
our
least like 3 days,
Charlie
3 or 4
Kirk wanted
days.
everybody to have a microphone, and like it's got a celebration of of what he believed in and what he brought to the table, and I'm just proud. I'm proud to be an American, and I'm excited. I'm a musician. I get to go play music.
You get to play music at the Super Bowl, and I like the answer. It's who you are. It's also who we are in America. Lee Bryce, thank you, Lee.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
That's really
Hey,
cool. This is an alternative, but I'm not supporting TPUSA because I don't trust them. Moving it on.
Iran seized 2 foreign oil tankers in the Persian Gulf yesterday. This comes as U.S. and Iranian officials just begin talks. They began them today in Oman. Jennifer Griffin joined us.
There's going to be. I have a feeling
if these talks fail.
Let me tell you something. Hold on. Before I play this, I want to speak on this because I am a psychic medium. Yay, empath, very flamboyant. Like I've been doing YouTube for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. It's like a jail sentence right now. I've done over 1,000 videos. Yay. But the subscriber count, very little because YouTube don't like to push my channel out. They don't. But I'm working hard to bring these numbers up. I had a word with Tyson de la Cruz. You guys know him. I told him that I am going to bring him back onto the show once I hit 1,000 subscribers because I don't think it's fair to bring him here and I only have like pigeon food. I want to bring him in where I have a fucking steak for everybody to eat. So we're going to work hard on bringing up the subscription count. And once I hit over 1,000, I'm bringing back Tyson de la Cruz. So, and that's the decision that I came upon because I think it'll be something that I could work. It'll be a goal of mine to try to achieve for this year. And I believe this is something big is going to happen probably this Sunday. We might attack Iran this weekend. It might be during the Super Bowl. And that's going to, you know how that's going to kill the ratings for the Super Bowl? If we start an attack on Iran, right when the Super Bowl is about to start, we start attack, like we have a full-fledged Armada attack on Iran with B-2 bombers going in with bunker busters to destroy what's left of the enrichment uranium that's out there. This is it could happen this Sunday. Like, that will kill the ratings of the Super Bowl because everybody's going to be focusing on what's going on in Iran, and they're not going to give two shits of what's going on in the Super Bowl. That's a pure ratings killer. Will it happen? Man, the chances are high right now. But let's continue on with this news segment, and then I'll talk right after.
Everything. There's a large military buildup, and the U.S. is focusing on Iran's nuclear program for now. The talks in Oman between U.S. and Iranian negotiators are over for today. They lasted about 8 hours. It's the first time U.S. and Iranian negotiators have held talks since the U.S. and Israel bombed Iran's nuclear sites last June. Iranian state-run media said both sides agreed to meet again. Present for the
but Kid Rock is going to be performing at the TP USA. He's not going to be performing at the Super Bowl.
Is U.S. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Bradley Cooper, who has been assembling an armada in the Middle East to include a U.S. aircraft carrier strike group. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent revealed Thursday the protests in December may have been the result of U.S. economic pressure, which led to a dollar shortage and one of Iran's largest banks failing.
Yeah.
We have seen the Iranian leadership.
I'm gonna bring Tyson back when I get over 1,000
country like crazy. So the rats
I really want to work hard in doing that,
and that is a good sign that they know
I can do it.
May be near.
The U.S. State Department is urging Americans to leave Iran immediately. If they cannot leave, officials advise finding a secure location and stocking food, water, medications.
I'm telling you, this is the weekend right before the Super Bowl.
If talks fail. In the 48 hours leading up to the talks, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy seized 2 vessels in the Arabian Gulf that were carrying smuggled fuel, and 2 IRGC gunboats harassed a U.S. flagged tanker, and the U.S. military shot down a Shahid 139 drone that Iran launched toward the USS Lincoln aircraft carrier, with thousands of sailors on board and nonstop verbal threats from leaders in Tehran.
I'm sure the Strait of Hormuz will be a slaughterhouse.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Iran will show that the Strait of Hormuz historically belongs to Iran.
I'm not going to sell myself.
Today only focused on Iran's nuclear program, Stuart, not its ballistic missile arsenal, which Israel has repeatedly urged. Satellite images show new activity at the Esfahan nuclear complex, possibly aimed at protecting the site from future military strikes. Stuart?
Jennifer Griffin, thanks very much indeed.
You see, like, the U.S. is paying attention to everything that they're doing. Here we go. Let's keep it moving.
Here in New York, DHS telling us that in recent days and weeks, the number of death threats against officers has increased a staggering 8,000%. That number coming as new video shows the feds arresting a self-described Antifa member in Minneapolis. He's now being charged after making violent threats against ICE agents in that city.
This is where ICE has come to die. We want to know who they are. We will identify every single one of them, and we will prosecute them to the full extent of the law. And if that has to be done at the barrel of a gun, then let us have a little fun.
Well, that'll get your attention, right? And it did. Brooke Taylor's got more now. She's live in Minneapolis. Brooke, hello there.
Hi, Bill. The Justice Department using this as an example that if you threaten ICE officers, there's going to be real consequences. So as you mentioned,
he's
this
going
is
to
a
federal prison
self-described
for sure.
Antifa member now hit with federal charges for his
Yeah.
disturbing videos on social media. We'll show you more of those videos, but first, this is him right here, Kyle Wagner. They
He looked like
arrested
a real
him
winner.
yesterday early in the morning. He was proudly wearing a
What it
hoodie with
says?
"I'm Antifa" plastered right across it
Can't really
there.
see what the fuck
The
it says
criminal
on his
complaint
chest.
describes the threats against
Resistance?
ICE. Fox obtained some of those videos. You can watch it for yourself.
This is not a joke. There's nothing fun to chant about it. Get your guns and stop these people.
This
What?
is where ICE
That's incitement.
has come to die. We will identify every single one of them, and we will prosecute them to the full extent of the law.
What law are you just talking
If
about?
that has to be done at the barrel of a gun, then let us have a little fun.
This guy's a fucking idiot.
He also accused the federal officers of being murderers and the Gestapo. All of this comes as a Fox News digital investigation uncovered a nationwide web of more than 200 anti-ICE organizations that are using military-grade tactics to track these ICE officers.
Right.
So they're tracking and deploying civilians to act as
He spends a little bit too much time in
Fox News
4chan.
Digital found that they're feeding this data into at least 13 sophisticated databases. So they are tracking license plate numbers. They're also taking pictures of them, geological data.
That's
you name
crazy.
it, and they're putting it into these databases. The FBI director says that he is looking into this and opened an investigation into those signal chats, Bill.
All right, Brooke, thanks.
Yeah,
Brooke Taylor
dude.
back on the
I'm
job.
telling you,
there in
this is a
Minneapolis.
shit show.
Thank you, Dana.
More on
Minnesota.
this. Let's bring in Laura Trump, host of My View with Laura Trump. So that
Oh,
Antifa
that's
guy
Laura Trump.
obviously has a lot of strong thoughts. President
pretty.
Trump did an interview for NBC News ahead of the Super Bowl. He addressed this. Let's take a look.
We are totally focused on criminals, really bad criminals. Now, you could say people that came in illegally are criminals, but I'm talking about murderers from different countries. We have 11,888 murderers that Biden and his group
God,
brought
like
into
a
our
little
country.
bitch.
We've captured.
You look like a
lot
little
of them.
bitch.
We brought some of them back. A lot of them we don't want to bring back because we don't trust the
He's
country.
going to be
that
someone's little
they're not
bitch
sent
in
back
jail.
again.
Laura, many members of the Democratic Party on Capitol Hill and
He looks
elsewhere
very,
are saying abolish ICE and defund ICE
very
is
too far
their
left.
next step. They want to shut down the government over it, perhaps. But a president of a centrist think tank said this, that people embrace an emotionally satisfying slogan that in the long run proved to be politically toxic and a barrier to getting serious police reform in the country. We are in grave danger of the same problem happening for those who are embracing abolish ICE. That is the co-founder of Third Way telling Democrats this is not smart. How do you think it will end up next week?
Yeah, these are, I mean, Dana, so many of the same people who back in 2020 started with the defund the police chant. That has worked out very poorly all across this country. Obviously, we need our men and women in blue to protect us, to protect our cities, to protect communities. And no different, as you just heard there from the president, we have people, these men and women of ICE, who have the toughest job in the world right now, who are trying to make communities safer, who are trying to get these bad criminals out. These are murderers, these are rapists, these are pedophiles. And, you know, I have to agree with the sentiment of that statement you just read there. I don't think this is going to help anyone. But unfortunately, this is sort of where the Democrats have landed themselves in an effort to gain political points. They have been willing to characterize these ICE agents as horrible people, Gestapo, Nazis. We know all the names. They've called all of them. These are pretty typical, by the way, for all of us on the right side of the aisle. They've done that consistently for about 11 years. But because of that, you have individuals like this guy who says at the barrel of a gun, he's willing to take these people out. Law and order matters, and ensuring safety in our community matters. This president is serious about it. You see anywhere he's been able to have the assistance of the local authorities, you haven't had problems like this. But they're in Minneapolis, they're in Minnesota. The mayor and the governor have not been willing to work with him. They've fanned the flames of all of this, and it is going to really hurt, I think, the Democrats as we head into November. Because look, if you don't have safety and security, if you can't go out in your communities and feel good about things and feel safe, nothing else ultimately matters.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch
All
me
right.
and my co-host
Hey,
Faulkner
Emily,
and Kaylee
let's keep it
McEnany on
moving, Emily, because we got more to watch. Oh, we're gonna watch some Liberal Hive Mind.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's the meme of the day brought to you by 5mind.com. Well, it's exactly like I said in a previous video. I'm calling it the Nick Shirley effect. Young Gen Z YouTuber Nick Shirley has woken up the masses. He's inspired so many people to just take to the streets and start engaging in investigative journalism. You don't need a fancy press badge or press credentials. You don't need all the gear being deployed to war zones, or these days being deployed to freaking Portland or Minnesota. No, all you need is a cell phone camera, which everyone has, and a little bit of motivation. Let's call it a little bit of elbow grease. Just get the damn job done. Get on the streets and start investigating. And well, folks, that's exactly what people are doing. And it appears the independent street-level investigations have now made their way to Ilhan Omar's supposed $15 billion winery. And well, let's just say, actually showing up at the business probably should have dispelled a bunch of questions. But instead, after visiting this facility, I have more questions. My suspicion level is now raised even higher. Yes, something is amiss. Something doesn't make sense. This is a company with a $15 million evaluation. Let me show you guys what was found. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so here's the video that's now going viral all over social media. We got a couple inspired independent journalists who decide that they're going to show up to where the Ilhan Omar winery is supposedly set up at. Well, just take a look.
This is Suite B. Again, that is the address where Ilhan Omar's winery is. You can see that a different winery is here, Punchdown Cellars.
What does this note say?
E Street Crew does not make wine here. They were a client many years ago and have ceased operation. Their operating address is linked to this address like all other client wineries because of state and federal filings.
I think they're just trying to keep as much distance between them and their business and Ilhan Omar's as much as possible.
You guys just do a little more research before.
Well, yeah, that's what we're kind of doing right now.
Would you be so
But
kind
this
to
is,
tell us
do you know
about
what this place is?
No, that's why we came
It's a
back here.
custom crush place. A bunch of people use it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like renting instead of owning. So there's like about 40 of us in here making wine. So
We're just trying to just figure out what is really going on. We see that
next time just call because there's nothing going on here. So.
The pastor told us that Punchdown Cellars makes wine for 14 different.
They don't make wine.
Or crushes
crush it and you hold it for 'em?
No, winemakers make wine in the same facility.
Oh, cool.
Now, isn't that interesting? Especially the sign that's posted up on the front door. It appears Punchdown Cellars is trying to disassociate, separate themselves as much as possible from Ilhan's winery. And the individual, I guess, who takes it upon himself to represent the business establishment kind of gives us an idea of how they're operating. It appears to be one commercial location that all kinds of different independent wineries are operating some of their production out of. It's hard to say whether it's a bottling facility. I don't think it is, but it does appear to be a legitimate, let's call it, co-production facility. Except what's interesting here is that Ilhan Omar's supposed $15 million business isn't even operating there. No business license exists for Esther Crew, ESTRCRU, that's Ilhan Omar's winery. There is no business license for Ilhan's business at this address. Meanwhile, all the other wineries there seem to be properly licensed and operating. So it is a proper business location with businesses operating, but Ilhan Omar's business ain't one of them. In other words, based on what we could gather right now, based on all the available information, it appears Ilhan Omar's supposed business doesn't even frickin' exist unless they've moved locations, moved somewhere entirely different. But you would expect that to be public, right? That would be public information. Instead, we got nothing. I don't know about you guys, but for some reason, in my mind, I feel like if a elected politician is running a business, especially in this case where the business was acquired and supposedly had such a massive blow up post being elected, there's got to be some level of expected transparency there, right? You can't just have people willy-nilly buying businesses and then declaring their net worth has jumped $20 million without any actual proof. But that appears to be what's happening here with Ilhan Omar. And obviously none of it really makes any sense now, does it? I'm still asking the same question. Where is the business? To have a valuation of $15 million, you have to have some level of business operations. You got to be making some decent profits there. Is their
tax
payroll?
here.
Are they
I
purchasing
guarantee
grapes and
within
then
the 4
crushing the
years, there will
grapes? Are
be
they
a
bottling
surge of
themselves?
tax
Is someone bottling on their behalf? Every
Guaranteed.
single legitimate winery would be able to answer all these questions legitimately, instantaneously. And now some people are saying, well, where are the fields, right? Well, it's very likely that an operation like this wouldn't actually be growing the grapes themselves, but rather they would be buying grapes from farmers and then processing that into wine, then bottling. Well, if that's what's happening, where is it? What's going on? Are they middlemen? Are they buying finished product and then doing private label for other businesses? I don't know what they're doing. And again, that's the issue now, isn't it? Where is the money coming from? As an elected
I know,
official, as a
30 million, that's a
politician,
lot of
you
money.
ought to be able to explain what business you're actually conducting to
just
make
with a
the
white
money.
guy.
Because right now, the way this
Crazy.
looks, it looks like a shell company that they might be laundering money through, some sort of accounting trick to justify the
Talk
massive
shit about
increase in
white
net
people and
worth.
she's
And well,
with a
I'd say
white
that
person.
certainly merits an audit now, doesn't it? Something is wrong. Something here stinks to the frickin' high heavens. In fact, every little business operation that Ilhan Omar and her husband Tim Minette
She's a
seem to be
scam artist.
involved here, none of it frickin' makes
She's a
sense.
fraud.
Venture capital firm that
We got a lot of
apparently is
them in our
managing
government.
billions of dollars in assets. They scrubbed their
looking at
freaking
you,
website and
Nancy.
apparently, according to the latest report, don't even have a single client. Well, how does that make sense? A venture capital firm with no clients. And somehow Tim Minette is making commissions to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. Well, that's obviously weird. And you've got their business partner, the individual that's partnered up with them on the winery business here. Fox News wrote a piece on this not so long ago. Quote, meet the longtime biz partner of Ilhan Omar's husband as questions swirl about her skyrocketing net worth. William Haler has settled multiple lawsuits after being accused of defrauding investors in cannabis and wine ventures with Representative Ilhan Omar's husband. William Haler and Minette, who met working for now Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison when he was in Congress. Very interesting, by the way. So two political operatives who somehow overnight became overnight business sensations. And one of them apparently with a lot of legal issues relating to fraud in this exact business. But they were both political operatives before they turned to venture capitalism in the wine industry. Haler was a senior advisor to former Democratic National Committee Chairman Tom Perez and also has an extensive history of working for Ellison, who was the DNC co-chair. Between consulting fees and reimbursements, Haler raked in over $250,000 advising the DNC and Ellison, according to FEC filings. The pair also co-founded the political consulting firm E Street Group, this we covered previously a couple years ago, which raked in almost $3 million alone from Ilhan Omar's house campaigns. This was an obvious conflict of interest and clearly absolutely freaking corrupt, where Ilhan Omar's campaign hired her husband as a political consultant and then funneled millions of dollars to him and his business partner. But they then went to co-found Rose Lake Capital LLC, a venture capital firm, and EST Crew, I guess that's E Street Crew, I guess referring to wine, a wine company among a web of other ventures that they had since embarked on. Through these business ventures, which include wine and cannabis, Haler left a trail of fraud and swindling allegations tied to E Street Ventures, which was co-founded by Haler and Minette. And they subsequently formed Badlands Fund, which was created to control another investment fund that the pair also created called Badlands Ventures. On information and belief, defendants formed Badlands Venture in order to defraud plaintiffs by soliciting them for purported investments in Dakota and 605 with the present intention of stealing and or misappropriating most of the money. The cannabis lawsuit, which listed Haler and Badlands Ventures as the defendant, states. So it appears like a trail of fraud. There's all kinds of allegations that these people are swindling cash. And really, you know, again, especially this late in your life, to have no business experience, no real success, but of course you got all these connections and you're working for Keith Ellison and other people in the political sphere to then remove yourself from that position. And all of a sudden, the money is flowing in by the millions. Then you got allegations of fraud and people are saying that you're basically just stealing money and defrauding them. And now on top of that, everything else that we've already seen, the unexplainable disappearing venture capital firm, you know, again, I'm not going to make any declarative statements here. I'm not going to accuse anyone of anything. Can't really do so without legitimate smoking gun evidence. But what the hell, man? I mean, what is going on here? I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous, but it's not even funny. It's not funny at all. I'm laughing out of sheer confusion. Now, usually in a video like this, I would call for an investigation. There has to be an investigation, but we're already there. So I guess at this point, it's just a waiting game. Let's see what Tom Emmer and the feds come up with. But one thing's for sure, I was not born yesterday, and something here makes absolutely no sense, even to the layman. You don't even have to be a business expert to realize that this is weird and unexplainable. And really, that's the word. It's unexplainable. Even Ilhan Omar can't even seem to explain where her wealth comes from. The more we look into it, nothing makes sense. It appears as if, frankly, there's nothing even there. And obviously, the American people deserve answers. So let's see where this investigation goes. Something tells me it's going to be real bad for Tim Minette, Ilhan Omar, and their little business partner. But of course, only time will tell. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right, we're going straight to the next one. Liberal Hive Mind.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's the meme of the day brought to you by 5mind.com. So this video, we're going to be a little bit scattered all over the place. And to be honest with you, I haven't even really figured out what I'm going to make the headline to present the video in terms of title and thumbnail. But I do know that there is a common thread throughout all these topics. I do know that there is a clear macro point to be made here. And that's that, again, you know, no matter how many studies the left suggests that, oh, all the political extremism comes from the right, most of their data, of course, pointing to prison gang violence. Absolutely freaking stupid. Well, no matter how many of these bogus studies they point to, I think it's becoming increasingly obvious to everyone that the common denominator here, well, it's the radical left. I got a bunch of clips to show you guys. One clip with Joe Rogan, who seems to be, I guess, noticing the trend here. And then I have a bunch of stories relating to left-wingers getting arrested for threats of violence or direct attempts at political violence targeting conservatives and Trump officials, and probably the most relevant update is one of these infamous Antifa TikTokers that's been basically calling for war against ICE, civil war, issuing direct threats and calls to violence. Well, he's finally been found and arrested by federal authorities. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. So much to cover here. Let's try to keep it all tightly wound. We got some stuff to get into. So let's roll the tape. All right, folks. So let's start off with the Joe Rogan clip that I alluded to earlier. It appears Joe Rogan is starting to realize a pretty interesting pattern.
If it wasn't for that Nick Shirley kid in those videos, and apparently Nick Shirley had been informed by the GOP there that this was all going on. So this gets exposed, it gets into the public zeitgeist. It becomes a huge news story. It's not a coincidence that the riots break out in the exact same place where all this fraud is being exposed, because ICE is everywhere. They're all over the place, but it's not. The most violent interactions are the interactions that are happening in the place where the most fraud has been publicly exposed. This is all by design.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting? Don't you find it odd? Don't you find it a little bit coincidental? I've been saying, friends, there's no coincidences in politics. No, only clearly identifiable trends, and this is one of them. The left wants you so badly to blame Donald Trump. He's the problem. He's the problem. And you know what? He is, in fact, a common denominator, but it's less about him and more about the reaction to him. When he's in office, the entire corrupt leftist establishment starts recoiling in fear. They realize what's coming, which is a potential for accountability, and so they lash out. All the far left extremism that you're seeing across the streets, the chaos, the common denominator is not Trump, it's left-wing politics, it's the Democrat Party. And clearly in this instance, they're weaponizing, they're mobilizing their ragtag, black-clad crew in an effort to distract from the clear corruption that's been identified. The common denominator, the common thread, is Democrats. And of course, probably most importantly, their rhetoric that mobilizes these individuals, and more importantly, less than mobilizes, enables and emboldens these individuals. And now moving on to the second headline, this guy, remember him?
My name is Kyle. I'm Antifa, and there's so much rage in me that I've had to record this like 15 times trying to get the message out. They f***ed up, okay? Go watch my other videos. Doesn't matter if you're not here and you're not caught up. You missed the fight. But if you are, it's time to suit up. Boots on the ground. Nicollet and 26th. My house is 4 blocks away. Anywhere between Franklin and Nicollet and 26th and Nicollet. Show up ready to go. Okay, not talking about peaceful protests anymore. We're not talking about having polite conversations anymore. I am talking specifically to my followers. This is everything I have talked about, and this is exactly what I said was going to happen. This is exactly what I said was going to come when we didn't fucking go and march on Whipple with guns. This is not a joke. There's nothing fun to chant about it. Get your guns and stop these people.
Mr. Antifa Chief Kyle, well, his actions were obviously indefensible. And at one point, he was even recording videos claiming that he was on the run. Well, I guess not anymore, as they've now identified him. And boy, was this an operation. They actually smashed through the front window of his apartment complex and went in there pretty heavy-handed and pulled this guy out.
And they're blowing their little whistle.
And of course, truly fitting, I'm sure he did this for the photo op, he did this as a statement, but he put on an I'm Antifa sweatshirt as he was being arrested. Well, you know, I'm sure you are, Kyle, and I'm also sure that declaring that you're part of what is now deemed a terrorist organization is going to work great for you in court. Absolute
What an
moron. As if recording overt calls to violence wasn't dumb enough already, he's now doubled down on the stupid. And well, I guess at this point we could pretty safely say this guy is screwed. But again, more proof of extreme violence, and all of it coming from the left, downstream from left-wing rhetoric. This is what happens when Democrats are continuously pumping into the airwaves. Threat to democracy, threat to democracy, a trans genocide. Donald Trump's ICE Gestapo is disappearing American citizens. This is what you get. This is the result. People who are so far radicalized that they start issuing literal calls to violence. And if it's not that, well, then it's this. Here's another case that we're getting an update on. 26-year-old Maryland man, Colin DeMarco, was just arrested on attempted murder charges after showing up at OMB Director Ross Vought's house, where he was caught wearing gloves and a surgical mask, admitting to investigators that he wanted to confront him about Project 2025. Exactly like I'm saying, directly downstream from Kamala Harris's campaign rhetoric. Ooh, Project 2025, it's the fascist playbook. It's Stephen Miller taking notes from 1940s Germany. They push the rhetoric so incredibly far, and then people who are clearly mentally unwell become extremely paranoid. It becomes their whole life. And then stuff like this happens. We're also learning this individual searched the internet for methods to dispose of a body and made notes of weapon stashes, sending a Discord message claiming to have found Vought's address. And no, we're not done with left-wing crazy, because we got another situation that's also absolutely wild and is clearly connected to previous left-wing acts of terror that we saw, namely the Charlie Kirk assassin and the copycat killer that he spawned right after in Dallas. Andy No just posted this on X. He writes, Portland police have shot dead an armed man wanted in downtown who was the suspect in an attempted shooting at a grocery store where he dropped a loaded gun that had threatening messages naming President Trump written on the shells. Tyler Robinson and the Dallas anti-ICE gunman allegedly did similar things with their leftist messaging on their ammunition. On January 31st, the suspect pointed a gun at a grocery store security guard and pulled the trigger. The gun did not fire, and in the scuffle, he dropped his shotgun case and escaped. On February 5th, the PPB located the suspect at his apartment in the Pearl District. He refused to come out and was forced out with pepper gas. Police say he brandished a pistol before being shot dead. I contacted the PPB for clarification on what the threats were written on the shells and whether they were directed at the president or merely named him. The PPB declined to answer. Portland and the state of Oregon regularly have left-wing people, including politicians, who make threats against the president and officials and agents of the federal government. So yeah, again, I think the case is made, a case that we've been making quite clearly for however many years at this point. But all the roads always seem to lead to the DNC when it comes to extreme violent political rhetoric and action. When it comes to political terrorism in America, it always leads to the Democrat Party. It always leads to left-wing rhetoric. Donald Trump's not the problem. Donald Trump is not the extreme factor. It's their extreme reaction to losing to President Trump. That's the problem. Or really, it's their extreme reaction when they don't get what they want in general. And more people need to realize that. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right, let's keep it moving because we got more to watch.
Everything that is making headlines this afternoon. First, we want to check in with our Angelique Proctor, who is on top of new developments, tragic ones at that, with the search of Atlanta rapper Lil Jon's son. It seems like there's been a devastating development here, Angelique. What more do we know?
Well, good afternoon to you, Tom. Yes, heartbreaking development here in the city of
Why was he in the water?
We are at Mayfield Park. This is the spot where Milton police had been looking for about 3.5 days. They do confirm for us that they did pull a body from this pond that you see here this afternoon. This is where they have been searching for 27-year-old Nathan Smith, who is well known in Atlanta circles as DJ Young Slade and is, as you said, the son of rapper Lil Jon. Well, Smith was last seen leaving his home around 6 a.m. on Tuesday. He was described as being disoriented and possibly being in need of assistance. And so for 3.5 days, police, canine, divers,
like that's him? He has no eyebrows?
For Smith. We do have some new images from Skyfox 5. It was about 11:53 this morning that officials found what they believe is the body of Nathan Smith. My colleague who was on the scene at the time tells me a body bag was brought to the scene. The medical examiner showed up, and we, as members of the media, were asked to move back. And then at approximately about 1:45, a gurney was put in a transport van, and that van pulled off. So many people in this family-friendly community were hoping for the best. I have talked to some of them since I have been here, but this Friday afternoon, there is utter sadness. Now, the Milton Police Department says it will not comment further on this case until the medical examiner positively identifies this body. And of course, the Smith family has asked for privacy, and we will, in fact, honor that. Tom.
Angelique, as you say, just a sad development in this case. And of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to
That's Little John. That's the rapper.
The situation.
He's like, what?
Though I am
Okay.
In the
Like
lead up to this
that guy, Little
disappearance,
John.
of course, the discovery today, we had heard a lot
That was his
about
son.
the fact that, as you mentioned, he may have been disoriented upon his
He
disappearance.
looked crazy
Medical
in his
assistance.
picture.
Did we know anything about his mental acuity? In other words, what might have set him off wandering in the first place?
Probably some drugs.
You know, Tom, we do not have the answer to that. And I was just speaking to someone sort of inquiring about that very thing, his mental state of mind on Tuesday or of late. And they said they really did not know, but that is certainly a question that many people are asking right now. And we hope to get to the bottom
How
of
did
it at some
they find
point.
him in the
As
water?
we've said, Milton police are not answering any
Did he
questions
drive in the
at this
water,
time
or
because
like
I'm
what's going
curious
on
as
here?
to who it was that saw him leaving his apartment at 6 a.m. looking disoriented. Someone obviously mentioned that aspect to Milton police because they shared it with us. So still a whole lot of questions here.
Yeah, a lot of unanswered questions indeed. Angelique Proctor on top of this tragic new development this afternoon for us. Angelique, thanks.
All right, let's keep it moving. Benny Johnson.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Conspiracy theorists on a legendary and generational run right now. It's hard to really think of something that hasn't come true with the new release of millions of Epstein files, including but not limited to Jeffrey Epstein being alive. Is this a photo of Jeffrey Epstein alive and in witness protection? You see dudes with earpieces beside him in Tel Aviv. Sure as hell looks like Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah,
this
he does
video,
look like him.
this photo is going around like wildfire on the internet, and it also sort of matches with and vibes with some other photos that we've seen, like this one, for instance, from a drone flying over Epstein Island after his death, seemingly showing Jeffrey Epstein talking with one of his groundskeepers or minders. There have been plenty of theories that Jeffrey Epstein did not, in fact, die in the Metropolitan Prison, and that's because some prison guards that were inside of that facility have straight up said, no, Jeffrey Epstein had his body faked out. And, at this point, I'm just going to straight up say that the conspiracy theorists have been proven right so much that I'm not going to discount anything. Okay, so we're going to cover the new photos of Jeffrey Epstein in Tel Aviv today. What are they, and why do people think that Jeffrey Epstein is alive? It kind of stems from this post on 4chan that was viral at the time of Jeffrey Epstein's supposed death or suicide. And it says, hey, I'm a prison guard. I work in this prison. Jeffrey Epstein was swapped out. He was taken to a transport van. He was taken under a heavy guard to a transport van, and Jeffrey Epstein was taken away. And what we found out in the actual Epstein files release is that this individual is somebody who was known to the federal authorities. They subpoenaed their financial records and personnel records, and it, like clearly somebody inside of the federal government was very concerned about a guard inside of the prison leaking this, named Roberto Guevara. And so this is causing a lot of people to say, you know what, the conspiracy theories are ending up being
where's
true.
that guard now?
I really hope that he killed himself, because nothing ever happens, but this is crazy. It is crazy. Tinfoil hat time, but do you really think this is Jeffrey Epstein? These kind of images have been around for a long time. People saying it's a different nose, it's different ears, they swapped out the body. Jeffrey Epstein is in witness protection. And of course, all the cameras were out in the jail, because naturally, of course, why wouldn't all of the cameras be out in the jail? And you can't see anything anyway. But can you? You know, this broke last night.
All the
federal
cameras
government saying if
didn't
flash
work in the
orange
jail? That's
looks to be
bullshit.
going up the L tier stairs, possibly an inmate. This is from the FBI's own analysis of the footage. But Bill Barr told us that nobody went into or out of the tier, and that that proves Jeffrey Epstein must have killed himself. Not so. Listen to this.
The report says someone, probably Noel, carries a bundle of bedding or clothing up the stairs. It's a rare instance the video does catch movement on the stairs, but barely. Let's see that zoomed in and in slow motion again. Several of the video forensic experts the report's conclusion and thought that the video could be showing an inmate walking up the stairs. Authorities say this was the last time anyone approached his cell block until his body was discovered the next morning. Again, while the video does not contradict that, experts who viewed the video say the limited field of view makes it impossible to definitively conclude that no one used those stairs in that time period.
Yeah, I mean, what you can see here is the Inspector General also found that there was a flash of orange going up the L tier stairs. Again, this alone makes Bill Barr a liar and makes the official investigation a sham. Who entered Epstein's jail cell tier the night of his death? Newly released video logs appear to contradict official accounts. So this is why people think that something nefarious happened. This is why people think that perhaps Jeffrey Epstein was swapped out, or maybe he's still alive. And if you're bringing in all the linens, I mean, we've always talked about so many linens inside of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. Look at all this.
Why would you put all that in there?
On suicide watch. They never found the noose, by the way. They've never identified the noose. All of these linens, were they sneaking somebody into or out of a laundry hamper? You know, a lot of people have asked that. Okay, so is Jeffrey Epstein alive? That's the question.
You're a high
risk. You can
risk.
see here in just a very cursory search, there is no shortage of this photo just zipping around the entire internet, right? Jeffrey Epstein, bearded and with like a long head of hair, walking through the streets of Israel. Obviously, the reason it would be Israel is because Jeffrey Epstein traveled to Israel all the time. He friends with Bibi Netanyahu and a lot of other Israeli officials, and also, you know, Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, had a state funeral when he died in Israel. A lot of strange things happening there. This is, by the way, worth noting, got me, meaning I looked at this and said, wow, this is very convincing, but it is in fact AI. Everybody saying this photo is not AI is lying to you. And this photo had the original one had a watermark and has all of the sort of signs of being an AI. People saying this has no community note. It's concerning. He's alive, and they're trying to sell us the opposite. Here's the full pic, right? This is the one that went viral. 5 million views here, right? The community notes this is a viral photo.
Could it be?
The photo is AI generated fakes. The original image had a watermark on it that has been taken off. I mean, you know, people are just saying this is absolutely.
Hey, he was in jail for how long?
These photos are AI generated. A watermark showing the man resembling Jeff Bridges, not Epstein, who died suicide. Nonsensical Hebrew sign confirms fabrication. So it's not actually Hebrew, they're saying. Photo floating around Epstein alive and well in Tel Aviv. Remember regulation 4chan, we've covered that. Concerning how many conspiracies there are out there. Epstein turns out to be alive. I'm closely monitoring. Again, I'm not discounting what people are saying here, and I'm not discounting, obviously, some of the other evidence that the government is at the very least lying to us about the nature of Jeffrey Epstein's death. quote unquote death.
And what did they do with the body?
This is a very,
You know what I mean?
thorough analysis.
Did they
Ineligible text,
cremate
anatomical
the body?
inconsistencies, blending issues, and the
Like they did with
watermark confirms
the
this AI
Pennsylvania
technology
shooter?
that
The
created this
Butler shooter?
very convincing photo
They
of
just
Jeffrey
really
Epstein
quick
that
cremated
has
the body?
since gone. This photo has never been debunked, of the drone catching a Jeffrey Epstein style looking person on the island. But let's just say an extremely convincing. What would Jeffrey Epstein look like today if he were alive? Very, very convincing.
I don't know. It
Alex
doesn't
Jones
really
covered
look
this
real,
with
to be
me
honest
on
with you.
the program.
Like
I
his
asked
face looks a
Alex
little too
straight up,
bright.
like
And
he's
the other
the most
two
right
are
person
a
on
little
Jeffrey
too
Epstein.
dark.
Do you think that Jeffrey Epstein is alive?
Like it
Here we
looks
go.
too bright.
Some of the most horrible
It doesn't look real to me.
comments and stories and emails about rape and torture and murder exist
What do you guys
inside of
think?
these documents, some of the most powerful people on
I think it's
earth.
crazy.
And you're really left to wonder, like, what really did happen to Jeffrey Epstein in that jail cell. And there's one very interesting
guy's an idiot.
series
Alex
of DOJ
Jones.
documents that show the
gone
investigation and charging of one of the lieutenants
I
that
wouldn't
was
have
working at
gone
the
after
prison
Candace Owens
the
like
night that
he did.
Jeffrey Epstein
He
died.
went-
And he said that
he went
Jeffrey
stupid
Epstein
on Candace Owens
was
for no reason.
wheeled out in a medical wheelchair and that he was handcuffed to the
Calling her
wheelchair,
a
taken
bitch,
to a transfer van, and
all
nobody
these
ever saw
other
Jeffrey
bad
Epstein
words.
again. And he thinks they
Like,
they
I don't
switched him.
know.
What do you think
Like
about
really
that?
weird.
I think there's a very good chance Epstein's still alive. I mean, I don't know, but we're being completely lied to. Yeah, witness protection type stuff. He was a major CIA spy working directly for Bill Barr and his father. I mean, Bill Barr was a young man running Iran-Contra and then Attorney General
And they
twice.
snuck him out of
We
the
now
prison.
know from documents that came out that he was with Fannie Willis in Georgia getting the indictments ready before the election in 2024. So, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying Epstein's still alive, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't believe any of this. And it's because Epstein, and people say, oh, you're covering for Israel. No, I go where the truth is. More than anything, he was CIA. And now you have the King Charles's brother now has been detained by the police. He'll be brought in for police custody. I mean, the rats are leaving the sinking ship right now. I mean, this is historic. It's very, very dangerous. And I'm not saying we're out of the woods yet, but for God's sakes, Trump saying 3 days ago or 2 days ago, oh, I'm exonerated. Oh, yeah, because they lied to him and said, sir, there's a bunch of lies about you. And plus we can't prove it. So he's like, okay, you know what? No, Trump, this is your victory. This is your Excalibur, but you've got to execute it. And it's yours to lose. Just cry havoc, let loose the dogs of war, to quote Shakespeare. Now is the time that people want truth. We need the truth. It's already devastating. It's not going away. I mean, Epstein went from being a 10, like a Spinal Tap, to an 11 to 100. I mean, it is now just, this is never stopping. It's never going away. And it's emblematic of the collapse of the old power structure where we are right now. So lead, follow, get out of the way. Trump's already the leader. He's totally innocent. Just come out and lead us on a crusade against the satanic pedophiles, the Islamicists, the leftists, the communists, the globalists, the EU, the Chi-Coms, and Trump. We will back you 1,000,000,000%. We want action.
That's right. So let's keep it moving. We want more action.
Cranes and more cleanup as crews are now still on the scene of yesterday's train derailment in Mansfield.
Oh,
That's the
yeah,
area
Mansfield.
sealed off right now, and that shelter in place
That's crazy.
remains in effect for people who live in this area in Mansfield. Thank you for joining us on Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 12:30. I'm Kara Sundlin. We do begin with the newest developments as crews are working to now get those derailed train cars
That's
upright
bad for their
while making
environment.
sure there are no leaks and that the public remains safe. Your reporter Luke Hydash joins us live.
You better
from a
hope
very
there's no
active
leaks,
scene
but
in
I think
Mansfield
there
with
is.
the new information that's coming out this morning. Luke, we just went to that briefing. I know you
That would
just
be
got
really
back. What can you
bad.
tell us?
Kara, yeah, some significant progress made here at the scene of where this derailment happened. It may not look like much, but there's a lot going on right now. They've got a couple of the cars up off the tracks. Kind of a blessing. They've got this big field here to work in because they're able to just kind of drag the cars off the tracks using the crane, using the other heavy equipment, and bringing it into the field here to kind of be addressed later on. We've also seen railroad ties being brought in, some fresh ones. Got to imagine there's some damage.
They
They
need to
took out the
check to make
ties
sure
down
there's no
where the
leaks in
derailment
those.
happened itself. Of course, right now we just got that update from officials here in Mansfield about
They're
25,
lucky they
30
have
minutes
a
ago,
night
and they tell us
field.
they're keeping a
Holy
very
shit.
close eye on the potential environmental impacts that this may have.
Again, the product that was most concerned about was the propane. Propane doesn't mix with water, so it's not like it's going to bleed or get absorbed by the water. It'll bubble right up and out. So if it was leaking in the water, we think we would come up and out. So we would detect it on our meters. And we're still getting 0 readings on all of our meters. We've got extensive metering all around the site in place. Both handheld meters and remote monitoring stations are up and in place.
0 readings is, of course, very good news. Not that there are a ton of people around here. This is a very rural section of Mansfield, but of course you want to make sure all of them are safe, as well as the hardworking crews that have been brought in here to right this situation. We've seen crews from as far as Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania that arrived very early this morning, very late last night, and will be working over the next few days to get these cars out of the river, off the tracks.
This
and
is really bad.
Your reporter live in Mansfield, Luke Hydash, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
They didn't think it was that bad. They wouldn't be that urgent. So let's keep it moving.
And I want to head back out to this. It's an update that we're getting from a breaking news story that we have been following for several days. It's new details regarding the search for Nancy Guthrie. She is the mother of
her
host Savannah Guthrie. I want to put up this. It's a social media post that was just released a few moments ago. So take a look at your screen. It says the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Department are aware of a new message regarding Nancy Guthrie. Investigators are actively inspecting the information provided in the message for its authenticity. While this is one new piece of information, the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department are still asking anyone with tips to contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. The FBI continues to offer a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie
Should be more.
and or the
Should be
arrest or conviction
100,000.
of anyone involved in her disappearance. I want to put up this, just some of the images that we have been circulating through the past
still
several
searching
days.
for
As
her?
that search does continue.
That's wild, man.
For Nancy, who you see here pictured on your screen.
He's probably
The
dead.
Arizona sheriff has continued to investigate this apparent kidnapping
This
of the
fucking sucks. You
40-year-old.
know, people are
as
just
her
weird,
family
man.
is
They
still
do
concerned
stupid,
about
crazy
her
shit.
health. Now, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano spoke to the Associated Press today, saying, quote, her conditions, I would imagine, are worsening day by day. She requires medication, and I have no way of knowing whether they're getting that medication to her. Guthrie, who has a
Probably not.
pacemaker and other heart issues, hasn't been seen since January 31st when she was dropped off by family at her Tucson area home. And you can see here in this video that
She probably
we
was
have
ambushed.
images of where that home is located, again in Tucson, Arizona. DNA tested confirmed that blood found on Guthrie's front porch came from her, and no suspects or motive have been identified at this time. Purported ransom notes received by news organizations are being taken seriously, according to the FBI. At least one note mentioned details like a floodlight at Nancy Guthrie's home.
Yeah, I hope they
and an
find her
Apple
body.
Watch. And the AP just goes deeper into the case, and they continue to say
I mean,
this:
it's
that
a
Savannah
wild,
Guthrie and her
wild
two
story.
siblings, they have spoken in videos posted on social media urging their mother's captor to contact them. We have played all those videos for you here as we bring to you all of these new details regarding the story. The sheriff deferred questions to the FBI about whether there have been any responses to the videos. Brooke Brennan from the FBI's Phoenix office said there was no new information to share today, but the FBI did announce that $50,000 reward for credible information about the abduction at their most recent press conference. And just a reminder that the sheriff there, Chris Nanos, has said he would not be hosting another press conference unless there was new information to be able to discuss. They had been hosting press conferences where they were basically just saying the same thing that they had been saying because there's still a very active and ongoing investigation. But the latest details regarding this just take us back to that latest social media post courtesy of Sheriff Nanos. And I'm going to bring it back here on your screen just to reiterate what we know so far. Sheriff Nanos saying this, that the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Department are aware of a new message regarding Nancy Guthrie. Investigators are actively inspecting the information provided in the message for its authenticity. While this is one new piece of information, the FBI and the Pima County
What is
Sheriff's
going on
Department
here?
are still asking
Crazy
anyone
ass
with
story.
tips to contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. The FBI continues to offer a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. I also want to showcase this. It is the missing person poster that was circulating here, just providing more details of Nancy. She was 84 years old, height 5'5", about 150 pounds. Hair color is brown, eye color is blue.
5'5", 150.
Again, she was last seen on the evening of January 31st, 2026. That was Saturday night. She was reported missing the next day on Sunday, February 1st.
That's sad, man.
She was last seen at her residence near East Skyline Drive and North Campbell Avenue, and it's unknown what clothing she may be wearing. Stay with us here at Live Now from Fox as we continue to bring all of these developments to you as soon as we get them.
That's crazy. Let's keep it moving.
How safe London is at the moment, because according to some media outlets, we're being told, don't believe the violent videos that we're seeing all the time online, don't believe the high crime rates, and don't believe the huge number of people who are packing up their bags and fleeing London. According to The Economist, London is far safer than violent viral videos will have you believe. It's interesting being here in Sydney, Australia, reading that, and then at the same time also seeing news articles that people like Tom Cruise, they're packing up, they're fleeing London. Tom Cruise is leaving his London apartment reportedly just after a shop near him was robbed, Esther.
Yes, I mean, what they're basically saying is close one eye and squint the other, and then put on sunglasses, and then you can pretend that London is what it is. I mean, other than from personal experience, having my friend's phone stolen on Oxford Street only a few months ago, you know, seeing people literally being questioned by the police randomly as I was taking a walk with my friend in Knightsbridge because some armed robbers decided to smash up, I think it was a Chanel shop, and steal whatever they could get their hands on. The police decided to question me because I look like an armed robber, apparently. Look, the reality is the kinds of people that come up with these sorts of statements do not live in London or live in such a leafy part of London that actually when they call the police, they turn up. If you go outside of, even outside of sort of the central areas, the data is very clear and it's very hard to mask it any other way. The fact is, life crime is up. It's been up by over 50% since Keir Starmer, since Sadiq Khan became London mayor. Phone thefts are through the roof, to the point where the police are not even doing anything about it. They take a crime reference number for insurance purposes and then get you on your merry way. Sexual assault, I mean, there's, I believe, a rape every few hours in London, and that's something that the Metropolitan Police again can't talk away or try to say, oh, but it's not that bad, because rape is never that bad, or some sort of ridiculous excuse that they could come up with. The reality is London is deteriorating fast. The number of non-doms that you see leaving London isn't just because of the Chancellor's poor tax plans. It's because why would you, a wealthy person, live in a major city where you're not safe? You can't wear any of your luxury jewelry. A man was stabbed to death last year for his Rolex watch. A man and a father of two who just visited London with his children. I mean, where is the room to hide and to paint the picture as something that it's not? So this is the kind of things that infuriates people, because they just think that the electorate is so adrift from the people that are actually running the country. And these are the kinds of things that radicalize them.
It's just so sad. It is so shocking. And then it's kind of infuriating reading pieces like that in the media where they're just pretending what is happening in London, it just does not exist. I want to talk to you about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and the Epstein files. Of course, the newly released Epstein files has just raised more questions around Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. Skynews.com.au is reporting that King Charles is furious with Keir Starmer after Keir Starmer joined calls for Andrew to testify to Congress. Look, the Andrew allegations are incredibly damaging to the royal family. They are. But Keir Starmer, I suppose he's really put in his place when you look at the pecking order of importance in the UK. Esther, what do you make of this story?
I mean, he made a statement about Prince Andrew having to go to the US to testify before Congress, just as he was getting off a plane from China. So his excuse is that, he's been insulated for the last 4 days. Remember his trip to China, this country that we should be having closer ties with, that he trusts so much. Him and his entire team had to take burner phones and laptops because they were scared of being spied upon. But he made this remark that infuriated the king off the cuff because he hadn't actually consulted the palace. And while the Buckingham Palace has tried to do what it can do to minimize the furore around Prince Andrew and his association, or the prince formerly known as Andrew, and his association with Jeffrey Epstein. This has been very much a coordinated effort between Buckingham Palace and number 10 Downing Street. And so for Keir Starmer to go off the record and say, you know, Prince Andrew should go to the US to testify before Congress. Well, first of all, he can't be compelled to do so, which is actually what Keir Starmer said a few months before. And secondly, it's completely inappropriate for him to do that and to basically take a decision on behalf of the royal family without the king's explicit permission. You have to remember that it's King Charles that basically saved his relationship with Donald Trump. Without the royal family, Donald Trump doesn't have time for Keir Starmer, and certainly not Peter Mandelson, who was not highly regarded amongst sort of Republican top brass. So this is something that he will regret, and I'm sure the king will take him to task on that. But just even raising that and giving it life and having Lib Dem politicians say, yes, actually, he should go to America, is going to put a lot of pressure on Buckingham Palace that they really don't need at the moment. Already, they had to smuggle Prince Andrew out of his home under the cover of darkness because they're so embarrassed by him. I'm sure at some point they'll say they're going to ship him to a village in India or something just to really get rid of him. But it's not helpful for the royal family to have these interventions by a prime minister who's basically a dead man walking.
Well, finally, I have to talk to you about the Beckhams. It appears an Oprah Winfrey sit-down interview could possibly be on the cards for Brooklyn Beckham, following reports that Meghan Markle has been offering herself as a mentor following this family breakup bombshell. The 26-year-old has apparently been receiving support from the Duchess of Sussex since he posted on Instagram about his family and the breakdown. Esther, is this a good idea for Brooklyn Beckham to be getting advice from Meghan Markle?
That's crazy. I wouldn't get advice from her. She's a weirdo. Let's keep it moving. I'd rather aliens come and get me. I'd rather the aliens come and mediate in the middle.
Tonight, two newly released pieces of alleged U.S. military footage are sparking a lot of fresh questions about unidentified objects in the sky.
Talk about aliens. Here we go.
Were said to be obtained from military archives and released to the public by investigative journalists Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. They say both recordings show government-filmed objects that were officially designated as UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena, and they weren't meant to be seen by the public. Now, both videos were recorded by MQ-9 Reaper drones, and both show objects making movements that Corbell says defy basic physics. The first video dates back to August of 2012. It's recorded over the Persian Gulf using infrared sensors. It shows three objects moving in what appears to be a triangular formation, and at one point, one of the objects falls back, and it suddenly accelerates forward again, kind of like in a slingshot motion to rejoin the other two. Weird. The second video, more recent, 2021, recorded during a U.S. drone mission over southern Syria. And in this footage, you have a single object that's tracked by a weapons-grade targeting system. Now, it moves steadily at first, then suddenly changes direction, accelerates out of frame at what analysts describe as extreme speed. There's no visible propulsion. NewsNation has not independently verified the authenticity of these videos. The Pentagon has not confirmed them or even commented. But what are we actually seeing in these videos? Nick Pope's here, investigated UAPs for the UK Ministry of Defense. Nick, good to see you. These the real deal?
Yes, I think so. Jeremy and George, the journalists concerned, have a proven track record of getting authentic Pentagon footage into the public domain. And when you see these sorts of things just move in a straight line at a constant speed, sure, you can say balloons, birds. But as you said in your intro, the Pentagon itself put this into the UAP category, unidentified anomalous phenomena. And that's what we're looking at.
Okay, let me ask you the million-dollar question. Is this a piece of technology, advanced technology? I mean, we're talking about 2012, we're talking about 2021, or is this something else? Is this from extraterrestrial?
As much as I'd love to believe that it was extraterrestrial, Occam's razor states that the simplest and most likely explanation is usually the correct one. These were Middle East videos in one of the most crowded areas of sky when it comes to cutting-edge aerospace technology, aircraft, drones. The United States has a lot.
Yeah, but they want to
because
complicate
the US
shit.
is there. China and Russia are probably there spying on them. Iran is there too. So my best estimate has got
They
to
don't
be
want to
this is
offend their pronouns.
terrestrial tech.
Well, I mean, they are sensitive military regions, could be of interest if it wasn't human-made. I mean, but that's the question. Have you seen technology like this that it could do something like this? No propulsion?
Well, you know, we can't tell that much just by looking at the videos themselves. You know, behind the scenes, there's probably more analysis that's been done by intelligence community imagery analysts, and that's probably classified. But, you know, there are things flying out there that will not be public knowledge for 10, 15, 20 years after the event. So there's a lot of spooky stuff flying right now.
And it's a good, I think that was a pun, but I like that. But let me ask you a question. Do you think that it wasn't meant for the public to see? Was it not meant for the public to see because of the sensitive military technology? I mean, Jeremy Corbell says the footage came from intelligence archives. You tell me, is that what we're dealing with, that they were concerned that this could compromise us?
Well, I think Jeremy and George are both very careful that they follow the law in this, as are the people concerned who gave them the video.
Follow the law.
Said,
Listen to
there are
that.
people in the military who see these sorts of things.
He's trying to tell them, don't say everything.
Are very frustrated at what they see as the slow pace of UAP disclosure. And so, you know, Jeremy and George often are a kind of conduit for getting this material out. So let's have a wider debate about it. Let's get Congress looking at it. Let's get other media outlets looking at it. And let's get a kind of brains trust of experts trying to figure out what we're looking at here.
Nick, you are brilliant. I love having you on, but I will tell you, I still think that this could be something else. That's just my take. I could be 100% wrong. We shall see. But I appreciate the conversation, as always. Thank you.
Thank you, and I hope you're right.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation.
Aliens. Let's keep it moving. Fucking weird.
It was supposed to change the face of the Miami skyline
Oh,
and
look,
improve
Miami.
traffic flow.
It's horrible.
We're talking about connecting Miami. The mega project where I-95, the Dolphin Express.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jackie Nestro.
And I'm Juan Center.
What?
Good evening to you tonight. NBC6 investigates, reveals allegations of failures in engineering and construction that the main contractor says set the project back years.
And now the Florida Department of Transportation says it might be done by 2029, nearly a decade later than the original date. Here's NBC6 politics reporter Hatzel Vela.
The agency has blamed supply chain issues, the weather, even the holidays. Now we found there may be other reasons. Lawsuits show the contractor partly blames design errors and defective concretes for the delays, costing them $400 million.
A lot of lawsuits.
In case you haven't been stuck in it, it's horrible. Drivers.
Thank God I don't live in Miami.
It's a mess.
I was born there.
Basis, thousands
That's
have
my
to keep
home.
up with new lanes, ramp changes.
It looks like a fucking headache.
Road closures.
Thank God I'm in Connecticut.
Hour and 30 every day. What I had to do was get off of the highway to get back on to avoid at least 100 cars.
Spectacular six-arched iconic signature bridge.
In 2017, the Florida Department of Transportation had a dream. For $802 million, downtown Miami would get a brand new interchange that would allow better traffic flow where three of its busiest highways meet. And in true Miami fashion, it came with a little extra they call the Fountain, a signature bridge with 6 arches over Biscayne Boulevard. Several documents show how the completion date has changed throughout the years. 2021, 2022, 23, 27, and now 2029.
Yeah.
Turns out that fancy design, according to lawsuits, is part of the reason it's been delayed. The lawsuits we found were filed by Archer Western, Des Moines joint venture. The companies first awarded the contract in 2017. They allege the engineering firm they hired to design the bridge, HDR, miscalculated the wind loads. So if built as designed, the spider-like arches above the bridge would not have been able to withstand high winds. That just means a big no-no in a place where hurricanes are part of life. Before construction began, the lawsuit says HDR redesigned the bridge to meet FDOT requirements, eventually increasing the contractor's cost by $405 million and adding multiple years of delay. HDR denied the allegations, saying its first design was just preliminary and settled the lawsuit without admitting fault. As for the delay,
I'm not exactly surprised.
Nicholas Duran is the Policy and Advocacy Manager for Transit Alliance Miami, a nonprofit
Category
that
5
promotes
hurricane goes to
alternative
Miami.
modes
No,
of
fuck that shit up.
transportation outside of a personal car. Calls the whole project a boondoggle.
Why
It
they
really
need
does
to
speak
do
to
that
the reason
fancy
why
shit?
we've
They don't
seen
need
so
to
many
do
delays with
that.
this project.
And wait,
What a waste
there's
of
more.
money.
We also found another lawsuit the joint venture filed against one of its insurance companies. In
Waste
it, they said
taxpayer
they
money,
had to
yeah.
destroy and replace
It looks
parts
like a
of the
waste of
bridge
money.
because of defective concrete. And this wasn't discovered for
What?
months, which cost them another $3.6 million.
The big thing is,
Oh my
this is a
God.
taxpayer-funded project.
But taxpayers may not be on the hook for the extra costs, according to court filings. Still, Duran is calling for more transparency.
We want accountability.
Why
We want to
would
make
you
sure that this
put that
project
shit
moves
like
forward
that?
as it's supposed to.
HDR
Yo,
declined
just
to
make it
comment and
simple.
referred us to FDOT. The
Stupid.
state agency declined a request for an interview or answering a list of detailed questions. Instead, a spokesperson wrote the
Damn,
following in an
Miami,
email.
what a
The
waste.
department continues to work closely with the project's
You guys
leadership
are,
to ensure
and
FDOT's
it's a
rigorous
Democratic
safety
run,
standards remain
Miami.
a top priority throughout
Miami has
the
a
life of the
Democrat mayor.
project. As for the contractors,
You know they're gonna
both
waste
declined
money.
to discuss the lawsuits. I'm
That's
Hatzavala
all the
for
Democrats know how to do.
NBC6 News.
Waste money. That's all the Democrats know how to do. Waste, waste, waste. Let's keep it moving.
We all have that one friend who makes you shriek when they're in the driver's seat. But in a series of alarming videos captured across California, it wasn't a friend making those questionable turns and sudden stops. It was Waymo, the self-driving car that's taken the state by storm. According to its website, Waymo is the world's most experienced driver, though it has only been on public roads since 2020. And that learning curve, it's led to some wild moments, many of them caught on camera. Like this one, when a couple riding in the back of a Waymo suddenly became the source of a standstill.
Hey, this is V with Waymo. How can I help?
Hi, we are currently blocking a train.
User support was called, and eventually the self-driving car was remotely redirected, but not before aggravating the streetcar operator, who made his frustrations very clear. It's not the only time Waymo got stuck on the road.
Oh my
Just a
God,
week
a
later,
parade.
Another Waymo refused to move. This time in the middle of a Veterans Day parade.
Oh my God.
This is so hilarious. The Waymo.
But for some, the wild Waymo behavior is getting old.
I just pulled out of the garage and I saw this going on. It's like it was a Waymo standoff.
Like in this San Francisco neighborhood where multiple Waymos were the cause of a traffic jam,
Oh my
stumping
God.
neighbors who didn't know how to deal with the vehicular standoff. Then during a winter power outage, multiple Waymos froze dead in their tracks, exhibiting an angry outburst for the man who caught this Waymo Chronicle on camera.
Maybe when, shit goes down like huge power outages, maybe Waymo can go the home and stop making a bad situation worse.
Waymo also seemed to have a
Oh,
mind of its
shit.
own in this wild
What the
video
fuck?
obtained by Fox 11 LA.
Oh my
The vehicle
God.
was seen
Look at this.
plowing through bushes after crashing into a parked car in Echo Park.
Yo, what the hell
Further
is trying
north
to
in
do? A
San
getaway?
Francisco, it was Waymo that didn't see this one coming. The
Oh,
viral
shit.
video shows an angry mob jumping on top of the car and
What the hell?
completely annihilating it. It's hard to tell what Waymo did to enrage this group to resort to this. But frustration with the vehicles are clearly growing as California continues to welcome more of them to the roads.
That's crazy. I would not put that shit on my roads. Let's keep it moving.
Luigi Mangione had an outburst after a hearing today in which the judge announced his New York State trial will begin on June 8th. As the hearing wrapped up, the 27-year-old said, quote, "Same trial twice, 1 + 1 = 2, double jeopardy by any common sense definition." Mangione appeared to be referring to the separate federal case against him. That trial is set to begin with jury selection on September 8th. So this means the two trials could overlap. Mangione is accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Manhattan in 2024. He has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of federal stalking and second-degree murder, weapons, and forgery charges in New York. Last week, a judge
Looks like a rat.
dismissed a federal murder charge that carried the possibility of the death penalty and a related firearm offense.
When these people think that
let's
this
bring
guy's
in
good
CBS News
looking,
legal reporter Katrina
hell no.
Kaufman.
That guy looks like a
She's been
fucking
following
rat.
this. You were in court today.
Looks like Master Shredder,
tell
like
us
the
about
Master
sort of
Splinter
the outburst
with
today and why the
Ninja
judge
Turtle,
made
the
that
rat.
decision that the state trial should go first.
He looked like
So
more
the
like Rat
outburst
Boy
happened
from the
as
80s.
Luigi
Remember
Mangione
Rat
was
Boy,
being
the
led
movie?
out of the courtroom as this all ended. So he was handcuffed and
Reminds
just
me of
started
Rat Boy.
shouting as he was at the doorway. And that's
Yo,
what he
what's
said.
up, James
what you
LaCour?
just
How you
read.
doing, man?
In terms terms of why the
Hope you're doing
judge
well.
made this decision, he seemed to feel
He
very
looks like Rat
strongly
Boy.
that the state should go first here. He said they had done the bulk of the work.
I know
that
my
the
my
federal
my
government
my
had reneged on agreeing
those from the
earlier
80s.
that the
They
state would go
know
first. He
Rat
said.
Boy, the
What the
movie.
prosecution argued is that this is a
You
crime
seen
that
Rat
happened
Boy?
on the streets of New York to someone who was a visitor here. They said that even Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO's family, wants the state trial to go first, Lindsay. And there's also this double jeopardy issue. There is a strong argument that if the federal case goes first, the state case will not be able to move forward because of New York's double jeopardy law.
So what are Mangioni's attorneys saying?
They say this is unreasonable, that their client is being put in an untenable position here, Lindsay. And essentially, he's at the middle of this tug of war that's going on between state and federal prosecutors. They think that the federal trial should be able to proceed, that also they know that then the state trial might never be able to go at all. But they just say it's impossible for them to prepare for these at the same time. The federal judge has set this timeline, so there are all these deadlines that would be going on as they were preparing and then in a state criminal trial.
I mean, as we mentioned,
I think it's also why the prosecution had asked for a July 1st date. The judge made it June 8th, and I think he did that to give some more buffer room here. The other one is set with jury selection on September 8th right now. He also said with the federal case, it's a little complicated, but they just dismissed 2 charges. One carried the death penalty. If the prosecution decides to appeal that, that could sort of postpone that trial. He said if that happens, that the state one could instead start on September 8th, which is when the federal one is currently supposed to begin with jury selection. He also told the defense attorneys, you can appeal this to the judge, the federal judge, Margaret Garnett, if you don't think that this is fair. But he just kept very firmly saying, I will see you on June 8th.
Okay, we know you'll stay on top of it. Thank you, Katrina Kaufman.
Okay, let's keep it moving because it's a little crazy. The world's a little crazy. It is what it is. I think we got some more on this case. Let me see. Yeah, we got a little bit more on this case. All right, I'm gonna have to cut this out for a second. Let's bring it back because we got a little sign here that the audio went out. So let's bring back Luigi the Rat.
Accused assassin Luigi Mangione was in court today for the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The state trial is set for June ahead of his federal trial. And while being escorted out of the courtroom, he shouted something he wanted everybody to hear. And here's the quote. It's the same trial twice. 1 + 1 is 2. Double jeopardy by any common sense. What do you make of that, Kaylee?
Well, it appears he can't do math like many of the students who are ICE protesting instead of learning math. 1 + 1 = 2. Well, Luigi Mangione may want to study up on the law. He's citing the Fifth Amendment, double jeopardy, presumably because there's a state and a federal charge. Well, he's missing that there is a dual sovereignty doctrine, which clearly says you can be charged separately in state and federal court. It is done all the time. I assume that is what he is alluding to. I would also note that this young man should feel very, very fortunate because he got off on the state level terrorism charges because they said that there was no purported government reasoning that he did this. I could easily argue the opposite based on several of his notes. So he got off on the state terrorism charges. He should study up on the Fifth Amendment.
All right, schooled.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kaylee just laid out the Fifth Amendment. You can't be prosecuted or punished for the same crime twice, but yet you just got off of a major crime that would have carried the death penalty.
Exactly.
Now you're being tried for stalking in the federal trial, in the state trial. It's pretty straightforward. I think that statement, and this is all guess, but that statement is just to feed something to these fans out there that are following this, that have taken this repulsive view that somehow the crime was justified.
Okay, that is horrible, and I don't doubt that you're wrong. I mean, Molly, you're shaking, you're nodding.
You could tell from some of the pictures that he's playing to the cameras, the still photographers that are in the courtroom, that he, looks, and he has a message that he's wanted to get out there, and this is one of them. And essentially making the argument that it's unfair is, I would say, a common defense strategy. And his lawyers make that argument that they can't prepare for both trials at once, that it's unfair. Perhaps they're trying to set up for appeals that they expect down the road.
Mangioni's defense lawyer said that he's being put in an untenable situation. This is a tug of war between two different prosecution offices. The defense will not be ready on June 8th. The judge replied, "Be ready."
Wow.
Who was in an untenable situation? Brian Thompson.
Yes.
Yeah, he's gone.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily
Wow.
Campagna.
That's going to be
Me and my co-host.
that's going to be the case. That's for this year. Let me resize this one. We're gonna watch this one.
That's not just snow falling off Highway 427.
Holy
Ontario
shit.
Provincial police say this video posted online
Oh my
appears to show
God.
the moment a car launches over the highway's concrete guardrail Sunday evening.
Oh,
landing on
no.
Highway 401 below and striking a transport truck.
There are 2 people in that
Oh,
vehicle
no.
when it went over the wall, and they have since been released from hospital.
Oh my God, it
There were
survived?
4 incidents like this in just over a week.
Oh.
One that ended tragically. Last Monday, a 38-year-old woman died and a taxi driver was injured after their cars launched off the ramp on Highway 7 in Kitchener just hours apart. Then Friday night, another car went over the guardrail above the QEW in Niagara Falls.
Oh,
This time,
no.
the trees and bushes below softened the fall. What
Oh.
all these incidents have in common
Yeah,
is snow
look.
being pushed up against the guardrail.
Obviously, when a vehicle approaches that area at sufficient speed, there's a potential for that vehicle to be lifted
go
up
over.
on top of that snow and continue right up over the wall.
Yeah, that's
These
safety
accidents
hazard.
happened days after the massive snowstorm hit the province, with criticism mounting over how well the piles were cleared.
You know from your own neighborhood, many of those service levels weren't reached.
On provincial highways, that's up to the Ontario Ministry of Transportation, which previously said it's reviewing its winter maintenance operations after the fatal crash in Kitchener, but didn't provide CBC with an update before deadline. Schmidt previously said clearing the snow on the highway is not as simple as pushing it over the guardrail.
Yeah, but
because
you
it would
see,
just fall on the
it's
road
like a
below.
ramp.
The snow
You
was
hit that
eventually
snow, you're
cleared from
you're
the
going
highway in
over.
Kitchener. And when we drove by today, it looked like it was also cleared at the site of Sunday's crash.
When it's all said and done, really, it's going to be up to you.
But both he and the OPP say with or without the snow.
As soon as you put in an external factor such as excess speed, tired or fatigued driver, impaired driver, or snow or ice, then all bets are off.
They say drivers should learn to adapt to driving in the snow because at the end of the day, this is Canada. That means having winter tires, cleaning snow and ice off your car, and watching your speed. Now, I'm a Weingarten, CBC News, Toronto.
Bridges, like in Miami, there was these 2 bridges that I used to hate going over because it gave me like anxiety. Like I was fucking having panic attacks going over the fucking bridge. Because it's too high and it's too skinny, and then I just felt like the car was going to flip off. And cars have flipped off that damn bridge. It's crazy. Let's watch.
Elderly driver loses control with deadly consequences, killing 3 people after slamming into a grocery store in Westwood.
It happened just after noon at the 99 Ranch Market on Westwood Boulevard. Tonight, the investigation into what went wrong is underway as the families of the victims try to cope with their loss. Rick Chambers is live at the scene with new details tonight. Rick.
Yeah, Micah, we just got some video into the newsroom. Let's roll that now. A passing car on Westwood Boulevard around noon today, shooting out of the window, and suddenly you'll see a silver car.
Oh my God, look!
Flying
That's
through the
yesterday.
intersection and crashes right into the window of the
Oh my
bakery.
God, it
Now,
was so
Mike, I gotta
fast.
tell you, it was heartbreaking tonight to listen to family members crying and wailing on one side of the street
Oh my
while
God.
the coroner was removing bodies from that crash scene on the other. Now, at this hour, we
Oh.
still don't know if this elderly female driver had some sort of health issue or maybe stepped on the gas instead of the brake. But 8 people were struck, 3 of them fatally.
Oh my God. I knew there was a video. I told you it was too early
Firefighters
yesterday.
scrambled to rescue 3 people pinned under a car at the 99 Ranch Market here in
Oh my
Westwood.
God.
The car had crashed right through the
So
front windows
fast it
around
was
noon
going?
today and into people who were eating at the bakery. Firefighters found customers still trapped.
They came in, were able to remove that vehicle to make access to those patients. Those 3 were beyond any additional help that we could provide and were determined dead.
She couldn't control herself, so she hit the market.
Rita Garkamian had just left the bakery and saw an elderly female driver clip a bicyclist just down the street.
I would think you would stop, but instead of her stopping, she pressed on the gas. We couldn't believe.
Moments later, the speeding car slammed into the market. The 2 men and the 1 woman who were killed range in age from 30 to 55. 4 other men were injured, 2 of them critically.
The incident is unintentional, and it's just an unfortunate accident.
Before removing the car from the rubble, investigators led dazed family members away from the coroner's van, where they faced the grisly task of identifying the victims. The 99 Ranch Market releasing a statement tonight saying in part, "We are heartbroken by the situation. Our deepest condolences go out to the families and the loved ones of those who lost their lives. We ask compassion for everyone impacted." At this late hour, still no word on what caused the uninjured elderly driver to lose control. And back out here live, regular shoppers at the bakery tell me that there was always a young security guard sitting at the window inside where the car plowed through. No word yet tonight on whether he is one of the 2 men that were killed
Oh my
or
God.
the 2 that were seriously injured. In Westwood, I'm Rick Chambers. Guys, I'll throw it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Rick.
Oh my God. It could be. Like, hold on. It might be the security guard. There's a security guard. It might be the one that was killed. One of the men that were killed. All right, let me just set some stuff up here. Got a couple of good news to watch. We still got a good little lineup. So let's keep it moving. Start it up. Hope everyone's having a good night.
He just stuck the gun straight to the back of my head and pulled the trigger. I couldn't believe it. You know, over a fake post.
An Indianapolis man recovering after being wounded during a home invasion on the city's west side.
CBS 4's Jesse Wells spoke to that victim, as you saw, who explains firsthand what led to that violence.
The victim spent the last few days in the hospital after being shot in the back of the neck inside his own home here behind me. Luckily, that victim survived his injuries and lived to tell the tale. He says the violence all started with a post on social media.
Early Monday morning,
be careful with social
thieves
media.
stormed into a West Side home intent on robbing a 64-year-old man as he slept.
He said, "Where the money at? Where the money at? I've seen what you posted on Facebook. Where the money at?"
Anthony says 2 days before the attempted robbery, someone called him broke on social media. So he posted this picture of a stack of cash from an old Facebook memory, only to find himself explaining to his attacker that it wasn't his money.
I kept trying to beat in his head that it was fake. I said, "Man, it was a prank. It was fake."
Anthony says when the intruders realized there wasn't a pile of cash hidden inside the home here on Patricia Street, they didn't just leave. Instead, after repeatedly pistol whipping and choking him, one of the suspects shot him execution style in the back of the neck.
Wow. He stuck the gun straight to the back of my head and pulled the trigger. I couldn't believe it. You know, over a fake post. Came out right there. I couldn't believe it, man.
The bullet exited through Anthony's chest. Shortly after the suspects fled, police showed up and rushed Anthony to the hospital in critical condition, unsure if he'd survive.
I said to myself, I'm about to die over a fake post. That's what I was saying to myself.
Although the police report includes very few details, Anthony recalls the suspects announced themselves as police during the break-in and even wore tactical vests.
They had a bulletproof vest on with the jacket, with the police on both sides, front and back.
Anthony just hopes the suspects are caught because if they're willing to kill over this pile of old cash, who knows what else they'll do.
That wasn't even called for. He didn't have to do all that. Once he found out it wasn't real, he should have just left.
So far, no arrests have been made in this case, but as always, anyone with information on this shooting can contact either IMPD or Crime Stoppers.
Jesse Wells, CBS 4 News.
Just such a scary situation. The fight to keep.
Not very scary. Just keep it moving. Hold on. This start is over.
Florida DMVs, tomorrow, driver's license exams will now only be offered in English. Local 10's Aaron Mabin joins us live from Pembroke Pines with more on what driving hopefuls can expect. Aaron.
Well, Janice's big change is coming in less than 2 hours now. Supporters say this is all about safety, but critics say it shuts people out. One language to get your license. Beginning Friday, all Florida driver's license exams will be given in English only, with no translations and no interpreters allowed.
We have a lot of people in this country that don't speak English.
The change sparked a rush at DMV offices, with some applicants scrambling to book last-minute appointments before the new rule takes effect.
I think it's good because it's going to help our drivers and riders to be a little bit more safe on the road, because a lot of people, they can drive, but they don't know how to drive.
State officials who support the change say it will make roadways safer by ensuring drivers can read English language road signs. But we found no official government reports or academic studies that say drivers who take tests in foreign languages are more dangerous. Some question whether it will actually help improve safety or create new barriers.
Well, I guess it's good and it's bad in many ways. A lot of people here end on their driver's license.
The move follows an August 12th incident when an Indian truck driver made an illegal U-turn on Florida's turnpike, leading to the deaths of 3 people. Officials say he was in the country illegally and raised concerns about his English proficiency. Reactions among Florida residents are mixed.
For Americans, and Americans should have an English language for the test.
It's the worst thing that could have happened to this state because
It's
this
English.
is a land of immigrants.
Land of immigrants. What?
And tonight, transportation officials say that
The hell?
people should actually be, if they want to take this exam, should be studying English language handbooks and also the
English.
driving, the testing materials before even scheduling an
More
exam.
Spanish.
We're live tonight in Pembroke Pines. Aaron Mabin, Local 10 News.
English. I took my test in English. They gave option if I wanted Spanish, but I didn't need no damn Spanish. English was good enough for me. Dude, I don't know how they do it nowadays, but I did mine in English. And when I did mine, I did it in high school. I got my license out of high school because I had driver's ed, and at our school we had the vehicles, we had the cars and everything, and the school was certified to not give out the license, but give you the certificate to take it to the DMV to take out your license. And you have to pass the test. You have to pass the driving test and the handwritten test. And I passed that sucker like perfect. And then my dad took me to the DMV and we took out the driver's license. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool moment. Let's see what we got here. What is this? Oh no, it has a graphic. All right, this is going to be graphic. So if you're sensitive with your stomach, this is the time to turn away, because it's I haven't seen it, so we're gonna watch it together for the first time. So here we go. See what it is. Oh shit! What is it? A shootout? Oh, he's shooting the car?
Terrifying video shared on X shows at least 3 gunmen opening fire on a car in broad daylight, killing a young woman while a crying baby girl sat strapped in the back seat. The rampage occurred on the afternoon of February 4th, just steps away from a local church in Chicago's Auburn Gresham neighborhood, where a white sedan was stopped in the street after having collided with an SUV. Footage from a panicked witness shows the gunman sprinting toward the vehicle, firing as bystanders scramble for cover. The gunmen then run off before getting into a red Alfa Romeo. As the car pulls away, several more shots are fired directly into the victim's vehicle. Police say 26-year-old Gabrielle Ayers was seated in the passenger seat when she was shot multiple times. She was rushed to a local hospital, but later died from her injuries.
Wow.
The 27-year-old male driver, who has not been publicly identified, was also hit. He was treated at the hospital for gunshot wounds to his arm and buttocks and is expected to survive.
Oh, wow.
After the shooting, officers discovered a baby girl in the back seat, uninjured, still strapped into her car seat and clutching a lollipop, according to CBS
Oh,
News.
my God.
It's still unclear whether the murdered woman or the injured driver were the child's parents. As of now, no arrests have been announced, and police continue to search for the suspects responsible for the shooting. The chilling video is the latest reminder of the city's ongoing gun crisis, where even a baby in a car seat isn't spared from the violence.
Yo, hell no. Don't go to Chicago. Don't go out there. It's just keep it moving.
Gwinnett County Police have charged the 31-year-old man after a teenager was shot and killed inside of an extended stay motel last night.
Fox 5's Ray Urena is live at the lodge, live-in lodge near Lilburn with the latest. Ray?
Investigators tell us that 17-year-old victim was playing video games at the time this all happened, and they happened in a room just upstairs from where we are standing. Investigators also believe that their suspect was a man who was staying in a room with a shared wall.
Gwinnett County Police say a 17-year-old boy is dead after a bullet went through a wall of a motel near Lilburn. Officers got the call at about 11 o'clock Thursday night to the live-in lodge off Stone Mountain Highway.
They said it happened 10 minutes before I got here, and then as soon as I got here, the police got here at the same time.
Markel Smith is staying 2 doors down.
It's sad because no parent should lose a child. I lost my daughter in Washington, so it's like I know how I feel to lose a child. So it's like that's something that no parent should have to mirror or witness.
Gwinnett police say 31-year-old Shamarcus Cochran faces charges of involuntary manslaughter and reckless conduct. Investigators say he was starting to clean his firearm after returning from the gun range when a bullet was fired at the wall. Police say the victim was found dead on his bed for what appeared to be a gunshot wound.
I ain't never heard a bullet just going through the wall. I heard of people getting shot at motels in front, but not.
It's strong.
Just come through the wall.
The identity of the victim has not yet been released. Smith says he didn't know the teenage victim, but saw him around the motel.
It's hurtful. My condolences to the family, to the woman I saw last night that was screaming.
But now, Smith says he's rethinking where he will spend the night.
I don't want to be here no more, to be honest. I'm probably about to leave today because I got, a friend had her daughter here, her son, and it could have been her son instead of the boy.
Wow.
The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office says that Cochran will most likely face a judge over the weekend for his first appearance. We did reach out earlier today to the Gwinnett County School District to see if the 17-year-old was a student in district, but we have yet to hear back. Reporting live in Gwinnett County, Ray Arena, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, just Ray, such a bizarre set of circumstances.
Bizarre. Let's keep it moving.
To talk about the big temperature swings that some people are going to be seeing, especially out in the Northeast. We want to go out to our great friends over at Fox Weather to break it all down. Bane Proney joining us here with a breakdown.
Hey, the thing is, it feels like here in the Northeast, the winter, it's been pretty brutal, but it's going to get a whole lot worse as we move into the next few hours. By the time we get into Sunday early morning, we're going to have wind chills in the negative 20s, maybe even close to the negative 30s. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk here first, because right now we actually have a Clipper system that's rolling through. It's impacting as far south as West Virginia and Virginia with some snow. We could see a decent amount of snow totals throughout these areas. This is now going to be impacting the Northeast as we get into the late hours tonight and overnight into tomorrow. We're talking widespread 1 to 3 inches of snow, but it really is going to be the winds that are the most impactful. We could potentially be dealing with some snow squalls, some low visibility on the roadways too. So even folks as early as this evening need to be on high alert throughout the Northeast because travel impacts, they're going to be pretty messy. But On top of this, too, the winds are coming in, and then we have that very Arctic air also making its way through. So you add the winds, you add the cold, and that's where we get the dangerous wind chills that are going to be impacting us Saturday and on Sunday. So kind of breaking it down for you here, we have this low pressure system that's going to be forming just off the coast and a high pressure system just behind it. When you have these lows and these highs, that pressure gradient, it gets really high, it gets really tight. And so that's why we end up seeing really strong winds. And I mean, we're talking 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts potentially impacting areas along the Northeast as we get into Saturday and Sunday. So you combine that with these very cold temperatures, not going to be very fun for a lot of folks. So looking into what we have going on, moving into your Saturday, I mean, our high temperatures are going to be Saturday night, and then they start to drop a lot. I mean, overnight, we'll be seeing those temps and throughout the day dropping even further. So really our highs in New York, we're going to be 10 degrees as we move into the beginning of the weekend. But again, Sunday is going to be the day to watch out for because that's when we have those negative wind chills and negative temperatures.
Yeah, we're going to be -5 or something.
Alerts are all along the Northeast. At this point, we have extreme cold warnings for a big
Be
chunk
cold
of the
up here,
Northeast.
Terry.
This also extends down pretty far south too, including DC and even parts of Virginia will also be getting in on the action here when it comes to those cold weather advisories. So something we're watching out for as we move throughout the next few days. So let's talk temperatures because, I mean, looking into what we have going on and for the rest of our evening here on our Friday, temperatures right now for a lot of folks, like in New York, 30 degrees. Still cold, but not bitterly cold. Temperatures in Albany, New York, 23 degrees as of right now. You'll start to see those temperatures dropping overnight, which is a norm, but the really Arctic cold air really starts to seep on through on our Saturday. I mean, looking into temperatures near Buffalo, 1 degree on your Saturday early morning,
Wow.
-2 by the time we get into Saturday morning in
17
Watertown.
in Hartford.
Albany, New York, going to be in the single digits as well. We'll warm up a bit into the afternoon. New York probably getting into
Sunday's
the
going to
teens
be
as our
cold
highs
in the
for
morning.
tomorrow. But I mean, as we get into the end of the day on Saturday and overnight into Sunday, temperatures are dropping to the single digits in New York. But with our wind chills, we're going to be feeling like -12 degrees. That is dangerous cold. I mean, at this point, if you're not bundled up properly, if you don't have enough layers on, or if you have any of that exposed skin that's going to be out in this cold for long periods of time, you are
We don't
risking the
like the
possibility
cold.
of frostbite, hypothermia.
gonna get
These are how
cold.
dangerous these temperatures will be. And of course, it's not just New
I'm
York
going to go
City
tomorrow buy
that's
some
going to be feeling
candles.
these impacts. I mean, looking into Sunday morning, Scranton, -2 degrees. That's without the wind chills. That's just the temperature right now. -7 in Albany, New York, 5 degrees in Boston, Burlington, Vermont, also going to be in the negatives to start off the day. And then we have the wind gust on top of this. I mean, we are talking 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts. This is not going to feel good. I mean, these are going to be some really strong, impactful winds, especially along the coast. There
Very
will be
windy.
times that we'll see wind gusts even stronger than this. I mean, closer to 40 to 50
So all that
miles per
snow
hour.
we're
Which,
going
I
to
mean,
get is
we
going to be
also have
blowing
wind
snow.
advisories in place. So it's not just the cold we got to worry about, but it's also the possibility of dealing with power outages because these winds are so strong and the temperatures are just so darn cold. Now, wind chills, when we add in the wind chill factor, I mean, -12 in New York, that's what it's going to feel like in the city. -23 in Albany, New York. -25 in Watertown, up towards Vermont. We're going to be in the negative teens as we move throughout the morning hours on Sunday. I mean, this is the day of the big game, so maybe a good idea to bundle up, stay indoors. I mean, if you need an excuse to sleep in and stay in bed, this is it, okay? In the Northeast, you don't need to be going out in this at all. And of course, the roads are also going to be a little bit on the slicker side of things still from that clipper that moved through earlier this week. So it's going to be a little bit more impactful as well. Anything that falls, it's going to be sticking around for a while. It's not going to have warm enough temperatures to melt, at least for the first part of the work week. So moving into Monday, speaking of the beginning of the work week, it's not just going to be this weekend, but for folks that are also trying to head out to work, head out to school on Monday morning, you need to bundle up. Make sure the kiddos have the hats, the gloves, the jackets, bundle them up a lot. Because, I mean, in Burlington,
Philadelphia.
Vermont, our temperature is going to be
Holy
-6
smokes.
with the wind chill. The winds will be dying down a bit on Monday, but wind chills will still be in the negative teens there. Same goes over into Portland, Maine. 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts will be there. So we'll also have a wind chill of -7. Boston, 8 degrees is going to be your forecasted our low on Monday morning.
We're supposed to be -5
-7
here in
is what it's gonna feel like
Connecticut.
for that Monday morning commute. So you need to be extra careful and extra vigilant and just trying to stay indoors as much as possible. The good news is this does not last too long. I mean, it's going to be a brutal weekend at the beginning of the week, but we will start to see those temperatures rebounding nicely to move into the rest of the work week. Let's take a look into New York. I mean, again, Sunday is going to be the hardest of the days. 17 is going to be our high on Sunday afternoon. We slowly start to warm back up. I know it's kind of crazy to think that mid-upper 30s is warm, but it is a warm-up compared to what
You
we've
can
been
feel the
dealing with.
difference
On
in the
average, we're
30s.
hitting around
I go out
40
there with my
degrees this
hoodie
time
and
of
I
year.
feel
So at
good.
least we're getting close to average, and we're getting
But
above
when it's in
freezing
those
for quite a
single
few days
digits,
into New York City
you gotta wear the
area.
big jacket.
Looking into Boston, same kind of thing. I mean, Boston's going to be pretty intense cold moving into Sunday and even into Monday. Our highs start to rebound a little bit, but again, those low temperatures, they will be cold in the morning hours on your Monday morning commute. And then we rebound again, mid-upper 30s on average. We're usually in the upper 30s this time of year. So things will improve once we get into the middle of the work week, but it is going to be a very brutal next couple of days. I mean, I've been saying it nonstop throughout this weather hit. You got to stay indoors. You got to make sure you're bundling up. Check in on your neighbors as well, and also prepare those emergency kits. Make sure you have blankets
I feel bad for the
and
cats outside.
food, water, just in case you do experience a power outage, because that is going to be a real possibility if we do end up seeing some of these power outages. And it's a widespread area where we could see that because of these high winds too. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, absolutely, Bane. I mean, taking a look at those temperatures, I mean, this is a hunker down type of weekend. And you know, it's kind of perfect, though, because at least the Super Bowl is on Sunday. People are going to have something to watch.
I'm watching something else.
Exactly. You can hang
I'm not
out,
doing
eat
watching
some
that
food,
shit.
make some hot cocoa, watch the game. It's kind of the perfect setup. Thank goodness it's happening mostly on the weekend, so not as many people have to be out and about heading to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Bane, thanks so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. We always appreciate the weather updates from our great friends over at Fox Weather there. And you can always stream Fox Weather Winter Storm HQ, search Watch Fox Weather on any browser, and you can take a look at the great coverage there from our.
Okay, so let's move it on because we still got more to watch. What is this about?
Today is a first alert weather day.
Oh shit! Another crash?
And this nasty crash.
No. Oh, another one. You're kidding me.
Involving nearly 20 cars and tractor trailers. Right now at 4, live team coverage of how this latest blast of winter weather is impacting roads.
God.
Good afternoon. I'm Christine.
Breaking news.
It's confirmed that crash. Our live team coverage starts with Lauren Linder. Lauren.
Christine, you can see right
That's so
here
scary.
on I-79 in Jackson Township that they have just
That's so
reopened the
scary.
roads only just a couple of minutes ago. State police.
See, when I see the
tell
roads
us
like that, there's no way in hell I'm going fast.
Involved at least 18
I'm
vehicles
going like
that
maybe
crashed
15
together,
miles per
possibly
hour.
more. We are also
15,
told that
20 miles
4
per
others
hour.
are receiving care at Allegheny
I ain't
General
going faster
Hospital
than
and
that.
2 at Wexford. And one driver tells me that she is lucky to be alive.
Wow.
It was just dominoes. It's one after another.
This is the pileup that Cassandra Summerall
Wow.
narrowly escaped. About a mile long on
it
the
doesn't
northbound
seem-
side of I-79
How
in
many people
Jackson
died?
Township. The roads
I
were
think one
fine on
person
her
died.
way home to Harmony from Cranberry until they weren't. Then she went around a bend and reached the top of the hill.
As soon as I hit my brakes, they locked up. It was a solid sheet of ice.
She slid down as cars went
You have no
sideways and
brakes.
crashed in front of her, about 10, including a tractor trailer. She thankfully came to
Damn.
a stop, spared from behind.
Behind me, all you could just hear was boom after boom after boom of all the cars.
In the mix was another tractor trailer that jackknifed across the road.
At the very last second before he hit us, he was able to veer off into the middle grassy median.
Within a few minutes, she made a quick decision with her brother and 1-year-old in the small car with her.
And then I just was like, we have to get out of here. Like, we're going to get killed.
Car parts all over the road and vehicles completely turned
You ain't
around.
wrong.
She found a gap to get out and off the highway.
I don't know how or why we were one of the only ones to make it out. But other than that, I feel very sorry for all the other people that were involved.
Now, dozens of others were stuck on the highway for hours. The incident caused traffic on Route 19. That's where we find Megan Schiller. Megan, how are things doing over there?
Lauren, thank you. It is very slow moving here. As you mentioned, a lot of people getting off 79 in both directions today. The detour route right behind me, 19. And as you can see, it is very slow moving here in Zelienople. Everyone on social media was saying Zelienople is a mess. So we came here and can confirm definitely a lot more traffic than they usually are seeing this time of day. We talked with many people who said that they were unsure of what exactly had happened, but they did find themselves detouring off of 79 onto 19, at times traveling to the point where you wouldn't even know something had happened, specifically a little further south near Cranberry. But as soon as you got further north, you started to realize that traffic was really piling up. We talked to one woman who got detoured off 79 trying to go check on her horse in the snow.
It broke my heart because I travel that a lot. And it's not only, you know, was it slippery roads, they say, or something? And then all those cars piled up.
And another woman that we talked to, she sent us these photos from the cab of her truck. She's a truck driver from Akron. She said that she was sitting in it since 10:35 this morning for several hours. She said she posted in a lot of the truck driver Facebook and social media groups just to try to warn people that we're going to be traveling in and around Pittsburgh to find another route. You're going to hear from her coming up tonight at 5. Live in Zelienople, I'm Megan Schiller, KDK News.
And you can imagine the impact this has had throughout the day on traffic trying to get through that I-79 corridor. The good news is that they did just reopen the road, but the detour route is going to take a while to recover. Has been forced off up till now, and the heart of Zelienople has been taking the brunt of this, both northbound and southbound, as the southbound traffic has been forced off right at Little Creek Road and then down through Zelienople.
Oh, this is Pennsylvania.
The Cranberry area. This is a situation where
this happened in Pennsylvania.
Accordion effect, if you will. Everyone who is forced into that area, it's going to take them a while to get out of there, but they will get out of there eventually and things will go back to normal. The good news is if you've got somebody leaving now, they're going to come home and go, what mess? Because I-79 has reopened in both directions.
Well, this is good. At least they opened.
I do want to mention to you while I'm here, we have an accident on Route 28 right before Freeport Road.
Another accident.
On the
Motherfuckers.
for somebody coming home for Freeport or Points North. Keep it warm. They'll get there eventually. Christine?
All right, Sean, thank you so much for that.
He said,
All
keep
right,
the food warm. They'll come
Postal
eventually.
Meteorologist Trey Fulbright. And Trey,
That's
we can
crazy.
see the snow can come and cause a lot of problems. What's going on?
Right, and it doesn't take a whole lot. We didn't get a whole lot of accumulation, but it doesn't take a lot to cause issues out and about. As we look at radar this afternoon, there's still some lingering areas of light snow showers right now from Pittsburgh north along I-79 up toward the Grove City area, and then a second area of light snow showers from Washington south toward Waynesburg, Morgantown, and Uniontown. That's what's going on locally here in our area. But as we talked about last night, there's going to be another round of heavy snow squalls and showers to move through later this evening, and you can see that developing there in southern Ontario. That will move across our area very quickly between the hours of roughly 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. tonight. Then behind that, cold air moves in. We are under extreme cold watches, or extreme cold warnings and cold weather advisories through Sunday morning. Those are for wind chills that could get as low as minus 25. Presently,
I've been in that area. I was there a couple of years ago.
A little bit milder than it's been the last couple of days, but
Oh,
still
there.
below normal. 27 the temperature in Pittsburgh, 21 in Franklin,
Yeah, I went to go
23
visit
in
Doc.
Clarion. Winds are fairly light
Doc
right now
Lucian.
out of the west-northwest, but as we go through the remainder
I
of this
went
evening
I
and into
was
the
in that
overnight
area.
hours, you're going to know when that front comes through because the winds are going to pick up shortly around 11 p.m. with that chance of snow squalls.
Okay, just keep it moving.
We are following some breaking news out of Detroit, Michigan. Take a look at this. This is a live look at one of those traffic cameras.
Oh,
as
another
a
one?
crash along I-75 in Detroit has involved dozens of cars. This is a
Oh,
live look at one of
no.
those traffic cameras, and you can see I-75 now at a standstill with some of these cars horizontal slipping and sliding on
Holy
the
shit.
ice and the snow right there, just really giving you that live
The
picture
cars are
of
trying
the
to exit the
treacherous
highway.
conditions that folks in Detroit
That's what they're
and
doing.
millions across the United States are
They're
dealing
doing like
with
a U to get
right
out of the
now. So
highway.
traffic at a
This is an
standstill
on-ramp,
in
but they're getting
Detroit
off
along
the on-ramp.
our Fox 2 Detroit team,
Wow.
saying that snow squall conditions
This is
led
the
to
second
this
accident
large
today.
crash scene involving 3
We had the one in
semi-trucks and
Pennsylvania.
about
Now we have one
2
in
dozen
Detroit.
vehicles on I-75 in Detroit. Really just moments
Wow.
ago, that crash scene being reported on the northbound
That
side
sucks.
of the freeway after McNichols, if you are familiar with that area. According to state police, several small crashes could have been the factor rather than while up. And while the exact number of vehicles is still unclear, take a look at that live image trying to
Crazy.
navigate around the crash
Wow.
scene and go through the median. It's just
Yeah,
a
the
mess
on-ramp.
right here. So we did want to share this with you. We are getting new information. This is from Fox 2 Detroit saying, according to MDOT, the left shoulder, left lane, right center lane, right lane, and right shoulder are blocked. And yep, that's a live look at this scene right here. Northbound I-75 at McNichols, those lanes are blocked and that freeway is closed. So we can see vehicles, cars trying to navigate around the closure, one going the opposite direction and then crossing the median, trying to avoid
On the ramp,
what
on-ramp.
could be hours waiting in these squall-like
Hey,
conditions.
fuck that. We're out of here.
MDOT saying that some of the
That's smart.
semis involved in this crash may have struggled. Some of the cars may have
Wow.
struggled, and this could be in effect for the majority of the day. The MDOT spokesperson saying that special towing machines and vehicles will be needed to remove
Why the city
these
didn't plow or
semi-trucks.
clean
So this
or
really
ice?
could be
Little
hours.
that's all. I mean,
The backup right now stretching for
but that
miles
turned into
and
ice.
is continuing to grow. The estimate of the vehicles involved in this crash are 20 vehicles or more. Road conditions, they have been
That's
challenging
crazy.
all day because of the active weather situation. And we have been monitoring this on Live Now from Fox, speaking with Fox Weather as they have meteorologists and correspondents fanned out and about. But what a mess. We've been talking about dangerous conditions.
We got two
And unfortunately,
areas
this is
in
a
the
live
state where
look
they had
at
mass
one of
crashes.
the incidents caused by the really treacherous winter weather. A live look there from Detroit. And take a look at this semi-truck that's trying to also navigate across the roadways right there.
How are you going to do
A
that?
very large vehicle and trying to go across the median. So very
He
dangerous
should have taken a
conditions
little wider
as the
turn.
freeway is closed. And getting a little more information, I'll just read this to
Yeah,
you
he's
as you
getting
take a
through.
live look at one of the semi-trucks trying to drive across the median, and another truck also reversing course, trying to
We're getting
navigate
the fuck out of
over
here.
this closed
Fuck
freeway. So
yeah. Look,
according
he's
to
doing pirouettes.
MSP Second
He's sliding
District,
all over
the
the
freeway
place.
is closed northbound I-75 at McNichols because of several
Yo, that's
crashes
ice.
in the area.
I'm
According
telling you,
to
some ice probably
MSP, they
fell.
say we are starting to see backup UPS as cleanup begins. A reminder,
Oh, they
please make
blocked the whole
sure to
entrance.
leave plenty of room between you and the car in front of you.
No,
Most
don't
of
tell
winter
me that.
crashes are caused by
Oh, no, he's
drivers
moving
going
it.
too fast for weather conditions or tailgating. So that is what they were sharing on
Yeah,
social
this is straight
media
up
as we
laziness. This is
see
straight up fucked
vehicles
up.
trying to navigate around this
Yo,
road
but that
closure,
truck
going
is getting
across the
out.
median and trying to
Because there's a
continue
lot of
on their
18
travels.
wheelers.
Any new information, we of course will bring that to you.
That's crazy. Let's keep it moving.
It's an icy scene in Eagleswood Township that's become a local spectacle. The top of a pickup truck
What?
visible in a partially frozen lake after a spinning stunt caught on
What?
camera that's drawing sharp criticism of the person behind the wheel.
Wasn't thinking. It's very simple. Dangerous. Could have been
This
Oh,
video, shot over the weekend and shared on social media, shows the pickup doing donuts on the ice.
oh no.
Reportedly breaking through.
It's about more than you. You know, when you commit an act like this, when you do something like this, there's a lot of other lives on the line.
Did you first know that apparently the whole place was a sheet of ice?
First responders were dispatched Sunday morning to the Stafford Forge Wildlife Management Area.
Oh, it's a wildlife management area.
They didn't know if anyone was inside.
They're responding to a call where there may be a victim. And until they're told otherwise, they have to treat it that way.
Members of 3 volunteer fire companies, including a pair of water rescue teams, a dive team, and EMS crews, converged on the scene, putting their own safety at risk. They ultimately determined the pickup was empty.
Stupidity at its finest. It's not something you should be doing.
Authorities say the 44-year-old driver got out unhurt but never reported the accident. State police ultimately issued him summonses for multiple motor vehicle offenses, including reckless driving and leaving the scene of an accident.
That's a perfect example of why driving and stepping on ice can be very dangerous.
So far, it's unclear if there's a plan to get the pickup out of the lake. Turns out the driver shouldn't have been on the road either. State police say he doesn't currently have a valid license.
What?
In Eagleswood Township, I'm Ted Greenberg, NBC 10 News.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous. You know what I mean? Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving.
For a little personal treasure hunt, your loose change might be worth more than you think. The coin collecting market is hot right now, with coins showing a steady growth in value and the number of collectors increasing as well. Dealers say millennials are actually sparking the surge. There's a lot of renewed interest thanks to a coin that literally has gone out of style. They stopped minting pennies,
This is about a $7,000 coin.
and now they're worth a mint.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially that one that just sold it for millions or whatever. Crazy.
The death of the penny led to a mock funeral, but it gave birth to a new interest in coin collecting.
Well, Mint State, 2006 Silver Eagles. Can't go wrong.
Tim Hero is a numismatist, a fancy word for a collector with expert knowledge in the field. He's a boutique dealer who operates the Boston Coin in Quincy. What the hell is this, pennies? It makes sense for the penny to open the door to a new generation of coin collectors like Robert, who lives in a Boston suburb. We're protecting and hiding his full identity due to the value of his collection.
Wow.
He invested in 2025 pennies and is in on other coins like silver dollars and antique coins worth thousands.
Give me some money.
It's part hobby for him and part investment too, just like Courtney Kinneberg of Braintree, who started dabbling with coins as a kid and is now hoping her coin compilation will pay off for her daughter.
Like investing in some generational wealth right now. It was like something I passed down to her, like bullion and things like that, things that like won't lose its value.
And it can be fun to find out if there's any big money in your loose change. Now, if you want to find out the value of the coins you have, there's a really cool app called CoinSnap. It's about $40 a year for a subscription, and it tells you everything you want to know about your coin. You take a picture of the coin, it tells you the value of the coin, how many are in circulation, and the whole history of that particular coin. So I swiped some coins off the top of my bureau this morning. Let's use this app and find out how much these are worth. 1972 penny. How much is this worth, people? Oh, drum roll. Here we go.
Give me some money.
2 cents? You want my 2 cents? The prices on apps offer a range. It is not definitive. Experts say the updated Red Book is the coin collector's Bible. Now, if you want to maybe magnify your wealth by getting into the coin collecting game, there are tips you should follow. First, start small.
If somebody was just starting off and they want to start a Lincoln album or a Lincoln Penny album,
remember the condition matters more than the age.
You could have a common day coin that might only be worth a few dollars, but if it's in the right condition, it could be a windfall of thousands.
Don't ever clean your coins, and be careful how you hold them.
You always hold up by the edge, always. Even if you like put your finger on it or your thumb on it, and you might leave a mark now, later on with the air and the carbon in the air, it will leave a mark.
There's a ton of buying and selling online, so beware of scammers.
I've had some amazing fakes come in over the years, and if I wasn't on my A game and didn't have a nice cup of coffee, I might have missed it.
Be it for investment or enjoyment, coin collecting could be the change you need.
I find the most fun thing is just to shuffle through the coins that you get from like a roll at the bank or whatever.
There's no wrong way. It's a beautiful thing. There's a lot more ways you could spend your money that are a lot worse, you know?
Spend your money on money.
Yeah, why not?
Now, Tim, spend your money on money. Tim says make sure that you store your coins in a cool, dry place, not in a damp basement or the hot attic. And if you're looking to find out exactly what the coins that you have are worth, make sure you're dealing with a reputable grading organization like the Professional Coin Grading System, also known as PCGS. There are several other ones out there also that you can choose from.
It's pretty cool. All right, let's keep it moving. Oh man, this is flooding in Portugal, Spain, and Portugal. Yeah, it's a lot of rain. Yeah, I gotta cut the music out. But holy smokes, look at this! It's the sun, man. The sun is hitting the earth with really strong energy, and to do some weird shit. That's. It's pretty. It's just got that same little music. Yeah, they're getting strong systems that are coming through, and it's very dangerous because it's like water kills, man. Water that water right there is super dangerous, super scary. I mean, this police officer has some balls because I would not be right there. Oh no, no, no! I would not be right there. It's a lot of water. And that water is really treacherous. You jump in that water, you're pretty much done for. You're done for. Even the strongest swimmer in the world, this is a very difficult task. Just because of the things that are under the water, that is what makes it harder. But man, look at that. That water looks so aggressive. Unhappy waters. Look at this. We got into a little area here. It seems like some of the bridge, or I guess the highway, is seeped under the highway. We got some. See, it's destroyed this area right here. That road is gone. You know, they're gonna have a lot of projects. They're gonna have a lot of repairs to do. This is Spain. That's crazy. That's a lot of rain. And that's nothing. It'll be a lot more. A lot more is coming. The sun's been acting up really bad. It threw a really big X flare at us. I think tonight, you'll be able to see the northern lights if you have a clear view vision of looking towards the north. Maybe we'll see the northern lights. I won't be out there seeing it. I'm gonna be seeing my eyes closed. And I ain't going out there. I'm gonna sleep. That energy is hitting us all, and people are gonna be acting a lot weirder and crazier. The Super Bowl is gonna be not good. Oh no, not Poochie. But where are you going, doggy? Better swim, boy. Oh, why you do that to your dog? You're a crazy man. Yo, you really had confidence in him. That's. I wouldn't do that again. That's dangerous, man. That dog could have been swept away. Look, now he brought another one. Are you kidding me? What are these, surviving dogs? These dogs are like, man, fuck you. I'm going to the land. You're a dumbass. What's happening here? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened in that video. That video, I was just very confused. But look, you can't even cross the road. I don't know what's happening here. Oh yeah, water. Look, okay. This is a pump. They're pumping the water out. See, but they got like steep hills. You see, it's like you see how steep it is. I couldn't live there. That's fucking. That's too much. Look at that. Look at that angle. Are you kidding me? Get some Dawn, get some dishwashing liquid, you squirt it all over on that water, and then you get a raft and then you just slide it down all the way down. It'll be slip and slide. That's crazy, man. They've dealt with some kind of flooding event before. I don't think this is their first time. The roofs look pretty cool. Look at how their roofs look. It looks pretty colorful. It's pretty cool. Got all different types of shades of. And the police is going around telling people, "Yo, get the fuck out." Just put yourself in this position, right? And you live here. Could you see yourself living here and dealing with this shit? You know, especially with that last house over there, that the roof is barely like out of the water. It's like the water's almost above the roof. I'll be pretty pissed. But they got like swimming pools. Look, everybody has like a little swimming pool. Damn, an evacuation of 1,500 residents. Wow, look at this. It's a nice little property, but you know, everything's gone. She's crying because she lost her shit. She's like, "Fuck, man, I lost all my shit." Oh. I mean, if you live in the second floor, I think you're pretty good. That's the truth. If you're in the first floor, you're fucked. Look at this bridge. What the fuck? The bridge is going to. That's a lot. I'm telling you, slip and slide. Put some tubing. I can't read what it says. I'm blocking it. I've dealt with floods before. And I've seen worse. But it's going to be a wild year. All right, let's keep it moving.
Another illegal immigrant truck driver accused in a deadly crash in Indiana.
Another one?
People. The driver reportedly entered the United States under President Biden using the CBP One app and released on parole.
No
Senior
way.
Correspondent Mike Tobin has this tragic story. Hi, Mike.
And sadly, Dana, it's another case of someone who entered the U.S. under Biden administration policies, went to a sanctuary state, got a license to get behind a big rig, and now someone is hurt or killed. It happened in Indiana on Tuesday.
Oh,
One
my
truck
God.
on Road 67 slowed down. The truck behind him did not. Instead, swerved into oncoming traffic. The
Oh,
truck
my
was
God.
a van transporting 4 men from Indiana's Amish community. The 4 men were killed.
Oh, no.
One of them
4
is in
Amishes were
critical
killed?
condition. Indiana State Police reported
And there were
the
4
driver of the
men?
semi-truck
Oh,
was
my God.
30-year-old
That's devastating.
Meskan Beshikiv from Kazakhstan. He entered the U.S. using the Biden administration CBP One cell phone app, and that was in
What?
December of 23. Beshikiv was issued a commercial driver's license by the state of Pennsylvania. Now, the issue of undocumented people behind the wheel of big rigs is painful for Marcus Coleman. In June of 2024, his 5-year-old daughter was critically injured by a driver from India who entered the U.S. illegally and got a commercial driver's license when he was still a teenager. Dahlia will spend the rest of her life in need of medical care.
Wow.
She's not going to make a full recovery. She's going to be on therapies for the rest of her life. She's going to be on medication the rest of her life. And we've pretty much come to the terms that she's not going to be self-sufficient. She's going to basically have to have a guardian and pretty much a chaperone and caretaker with her pretty much everywhere she goes.
Wow.
Now, related to the Indiana crash and the driver who got a CDL in Pennsylvania, Governor Josh Shapiro issued a statement to Fox News saying Bezkan Beshikiev had legal status when he got his license and is still legal on the database. Quote, Kristi Noem should focus on minding shop in her own agency as her incompetence and operational failures seem to be matching the scale of her moral failures. Now, with the Indiana case, the Hoosier State cooperates with ICE. The driver was handed over in the jail. Beshikiev is now in federal custody. Dana?
Okay, Mike Tobin, thank you.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee Mack.
Okay. Keep it moving. What? Yeah, it's so cute. Mhm. Mhm. Wow. Nice. It's beautiful otter. Chunky though. Little chunky otter. All right, let's keep it moving. Holy shit! What the fuck? Let me cut the music. They come in. He's with his balloons. Oh my god! Oh no no no! Look, they just left the bag there. What the hell happened? The guys from the balloons at least have late and mixed with the air on the left, and oh, it came up high combustible. Damn, but it just ignited. Oh, the static from the clothing. Damn, that's crazy, right? It's like, la la la. Let me put my floor. Okay, we put the floor. Oh, I was looking in the mirror. Oh, my hair. Damn, she even dropped her purse. She dropped her purse. She was like, fuck that shit. Damn. Well, he's the third person who escaped without serious injuries. Fuck. Look at it one more time. All right, pick the floor. I'm going to check myself out in the mirror. Oh, shit. Oh, dropped that purse. It kind of reminds me of like Die Hard or something. I don't know why. I felt like I was watching like Die Hard. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Let me bring it back to me. Good, the microphone wasn't working because that video was not. Let's go ahead and set up for. Let's see if there's any breaking news. Let me just check. Just do a little quick check before I don't know what's going on here. Just gotta get a quick look. Oh. Yeah, I don't see nothing. It's been a pretty good night tonight. Good Friday. Good start to the weekend. I hope you guys are ready for the weekend. And if you're somewhere warm, I envy you. Because it's been cold as hell and it's going to snow tonight into tomorrow. I'm truly not looking forward to that. They're saying anywhere between 1 to 3 inches of snow. I mean, possibility, yeah. I mean, it could be in my area. I'll probably get like 2 to 3 inches, and that's good enough. Let's see. Okay. All right, we're gonna set up for the last 2 videos of the night, and those are reserved for Tyson De La Cruz. So we're gonna go ahead and watch and enjoy. Dirty. Yeah. 76 billion. I don't trust neither of them. No. She's saying Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, no damn choice. Mhm. You're a beast. Mhm. I'd be pissed off. I'm sad. Mhm. Yep. Mhm.
I don't know. Damn. $76 billion. That's crazy. 76 billion. Bro. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you, Tyson. Great upload here. Yeah, I don't trust her either. She's very sneaky. All right, last video of the night, Tyson Cruz. Hmm. Damn. Damn. Damn, dirty ass New York. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Mm-mm. This guy's a clown. Mm. Uh-huh. Make no fucking sense. Yeah. 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 Mm. Crazy. Mm. Look at this at the summer. You know how much rats you'll find all over the place? Mm. That's crazy. What he's gonna do with the trash? 24 hours? That's a lot of trash for 24 hours. I'm sorry. 24 hours. Mhm. Mhm. Sure. So thank you, Tyson Cruz. What a great upload. Like, it's common sense. That's all I gotta say. It's like common sense. But I'm gonna get off of here. I'm already getting sleepy. I want to thank everyone who came through and the people who are rewatching. Thank you so much. And I'll be back here for. I won't be here tomorrow. I don't plan to be here tomorrow. I don't think I'll be here tomorrow. Might take the day off and then come back on here for my super show. It's my super show. It's the distraction from the Super Bowl. We don't need to be brainwashed by the commercials. We don't need to be brainwashed by their propaganda. We have options. And my options is turn it off. And turn it off. And we'll prosper much better. You don't want to infiltrate your brain with so much bullshit. And that Super Bowl is a very lefty Super Bowl. Listen, the Super Bowl is in San Francisco. Hello. like super democratic, like Super Bowl. They Nancy Pelosi is super happy. She's gonna probably be there. She'll probably be there with her wine. Yes, she likes cheese with her wine. Crazy Nancy. But I'm out of here. I'm tired. So have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night. And I'll catch y'all on the flip side. And then we'll do this again. The Super Show, my Super Bowl Super Show, boycotting the Super Bowl. That is awesome. And Bad Bunny, F you. Good night.